Deer HD, even the Yukons. Get 0% on all 2025s. Plus, get up to 84 months on the GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab. But like the Leafs, these deals won't last long. Get into Wolf GMC deal.
Previous from the all-time leaders, Ross Johnstone, back in 1945 for the Leafs.
It's saving you money.
That's it. Jason just turned 18.
language.
Plus, right now, Edmonton is taking its first slate of the night. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his second of the year. It's
$50 off, $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointments today.
We're on this well-hit ball to right field. Alberta has been pulled since entering the league. But McDavid's able to pull it for it now.
Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Braid from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash. Changed music forever. Tickets at Tickets.
It's a two-run.
Ever had a problem returning auto parts? At Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, we do things differently. Hi, it's Lisa, and we're to offer one of the best return policies in the business. When you shop with us, you buy with confidence, knowing that if it's a hit or if it's not the right part, we'll make it right. For nearly 50 years, Ed's Auto Salvage has helped Alberta drivers save money, stay on the roads, and shop stress-free. Trust the team that stands behind every part we sell. Visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
The Jason Gregor Show. But McDavid's able to pull it free and now gets it back from Drysdale. This game is
On Sports 1440.
43 for the Leafs. That's it. Schaefer just turned 18 last month. Here's Nugent Hopkins. That's it scores. Edmonton is taking its first slate of the night. Ryan Nugent Hopkins with his second of the year.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A well-hit ball to right field, going back to the zone. Let's go. Second night in a row with an Andres Jimenez. It's a two-run homer.
Well, fantastic, positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as, of course, Sports 1440. Check out our YouTube page, Facebook. You can say hello, say hi to the deck man in the chat room over there. Of course, Connor Halley running things here at Sports 1440. We got a loaded show for you today. We have a big game tonight, baby. There's a few of them. The Jays and the Mariners series is suddenly tied at 2. How things change quickly. We'll get to Mad Max in a second. Also, the Elks in BC tonight. That's perfect. You can watch the Jays game afterwards. You got the Elks in the nightcap tonight, which is fantastic. It's a must-win game for now they'll know a little bit beforehand because of the Saskatchewan and Winnipeg game that plays before them. And hey, not that they need any motivation, because regardless of what happens in the Winnipeg game, even if the Bombers win, the Elks can still catch Calgary. So you want to win and then see what happens. It won't be easy. The BC Lions are playing very well. The BC Lions are battling Calgary for second place and even Winnipeg. So they got lots to play for. It's ultra tight. Two games separate those four teams. That's it. So should be a heck of a game tonight. The Lions are very good offensively. The Elks defense has been really good. down the stretch. Offensively, it's getting better. Right? Obviously, Rankin's great. The pass protection has improved. No, Cody Fajardo, they need a few more passing yards from your QB. It's a passing league, right? It's hard to win if you have the fewest passing yards in the league. That's just a fact in the CFL. So we'll see if they take a few more chances tonight. The mayor of New Jersey, Ken Danico, will join us today. Also, Craig Button will be by. We got Speck, LT, Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning, Lorianne Munzer, gold medalist, another segment in the mind, will be by. We'll talk Oilers, of course. Last night, not a great performance by the Blue and Orange. They got an off day today. They'll play New Jersey tomorrow. And then on Sunday afternoon in Detroit. Remember, those are both afternoon games, 1:30 and 1 o'clock. I'm getting the days mixed up. I can't remember which one's at 1:30 our time and which one's at 1. But Connor, how do you know which one's at 1:30 and which one's at 1 o'clock?
Well, I can tell you that you're going to get the game here on, just quickly, Jay's game playoffs will be on our station as well.
Okay.
I just want to get that one quickly in there. And then, for the Edmonton Oilers, tomorrow it is 1:30.
1:30 tomorrow.
Sunday's
and then
1.
Sunday is 1 o'clock against the Detroit Red Wings. And have you seen Cam Talbot? He's on fire. John Gibson, their big offseason acquisition, played 2 periods, allowed 5 goals and 13 shots, hasn't played since. Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to get into a game soon for them. But the Detroit Red Wings, they need to win. They want to win. They want to get in the playoffs and a lengthy playoff drought. And they're home tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then they got the Oilers on Sunday. So I would assume John Gibson's going to play one of those 2 games. The Oilers last night, hey, that was a night to forget for Evan Bouchard. There's no, you can't debate it. And it's not that it doesn't matter, because it does matter. If you make one big mistake, okay, but you can't just keep compounding the mistakes and having the same one. Like there's a bad game. You got to figure out a way to get yourself readjusted in the game. And I do wonder if Jake Wallman's dressed in the game, and are they giving Bouchard a reset? Remember last year, funny enough, game 4 against the Philadelphia Flyers. Leon Draisaitl started the season. I think he took 4 or 5 minor penalties. 2 of them came at the end of a period. Coach finally said, okay, enough's enough. He sat him down. It was only like 8 minutes, but still, it's Leon freaking Draisaitl. Sat him down for 8 minutes. You don't have to put him in the press box. You don't have to go crazy, but I think you can send a message. And I think if you had some other right defenseman dressed, they might have done it. And you could argue maybe the coach should have done it just for a reset to say, hey, Evan, you can sit here for 5-6 few shifts, and then we'll give you back in. Because, hey, when Bouchard plays well, he's obviously a very positive player on your team. But last night was a struggle for him. And sadly, once again, the Edmonton Oilers, their offensive woes continue 5-on-5. You're not going to win many games when you only score 1 goal a game 5-on-5. Right? Unless you expect your power play to be 100% and score on every power play, it's not going to work. Got to find ways to get more goals. And late in that third period, it's 3-2. The Oilers have had successive shifts in the road. They're playing well. They do a give and go off the right wall. McDavid comes right into the slot, and he looks to pass, no offense, to Troy freaking Stetcher. You're not passing it to Draisaitl. You're not passing time. You're looking off in the slot to Troy Stetcher. I'm sorry, but that can't happen. McDavid's got to shoot there. You got to get selfish. And you're in a great shooting lane. Come on now. Like the Oilers' big guns have been shooting blanks 5-on-5 through 4 games. Now, do I think eventually they'll score? Of course. But that's not a fair assessment. Well, they'll eventually start scoring. No, they're not scoring right now. At all. 5-on-5. It's not good enough. You can talk about your depth guys, and sure, they need to score, but you got to have your big guns going. It's just that simple. Leon Draisaitl doesn't have a point in 4 games 5-on-5. I'd have to look back and see when was the last time that's happened for Leon Draisaitl. I know it's the start of the year and people are going to say, oh, it's magnified. Yes, he has 3 goals. I get it. 2 on the power play, 1 empty netter. Awesome. But the majority of the game is played 5-on-5. And he's got nothing. So you look at, here's the guys who play the most minutes 5-on-5 for the Edmonton Oilers. They have 6 players who have played 5 or 60 plus minutes 5-on-5 through 4 games. So do the math. It's an average of over 15. It's actually closer. Basically, they're all averaging 16 minutes or more a game 5-on-5. Leon Draisaitl, no goals, no points. 5 shots. Brett Kulak, no goals, no points. Okay, it's Brett Kulak. Matthias Ekholm, nothing. Evan Bouchard, nothing. Darnell Nurse, nothing. Connor McDavid, 1 assist. So your 6 guys who play the most minutes 5-on-5 have a combined 1 point. Now people, we need more from the depth guys. Okay, let's go down now. Forwards, the next 6 guys in ice time. Frederick Kapanen, Emberson, Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, and Podkolzin. 1.2 point, 1 point, 1 point, 2 points, 1 point. Okay? Now, Savoy, Henrique, Tomasic, Ike Howard, they don't have a point yet. Okay. They also play the least amount of minutes. But when your top 6 minute eaters have no points, 1 point, it's not good. Like, come on. And don't give me this garbage. Well, eventually it's going to score. That's not a proper assessment and evaluation. Oh, well, eventually they're going to score. I just think that's such a, luck is naturally going to turn. And you just do everything and, it's just magically going to go in the back of the net. Based on what? It's wishful thinking. Got to get a little bit more selfish. Mix in a screen or a layered screen when you have a good shot. And it doesn't have to be from the point. You can get bodies in front before you put the puck at the point. You can have a guy in front of the net and still put somebody in the slot and have them shoot. It's allowed. You're able to do it. And that's what they need to do. No question about it. Now, the Toronto Blue Jays. How many of you watched that game? Like we talked about it yesterday, Connor. And I said, hey, you know what? I said, I'm not going to question the manager, even though I was like, geez, why is he playing Connor Falefa? But I said, you can't really question the coach. Can't question the manager. He's made a lot of great decisions. And so what happens? Connor Falefa, what's he do his first at bat? Gets a double. What's he do? And then he scores. What's he do his second at bat? Gets a single. And I was just laughing. I'm like, God, right now, every decision the manager's making, most of them pan out. The Jays come back. They get Castillo out. Castillo, who I think before the game would have started, if you tell me who's going to last longer, Castillo or Scherzer, I'm probably going to say Castillo. Well, he lasted 2 1/3. Meanwhile, Mad Max Scherzer, he's over there. He's firing. He's like, I'm okay. Oh, you got to love it. And by the way, am I the only one? And I might be. Cons, I had never noticed until earlier this year that Max Scherzer has the husky eyes. One's blue and I've never noticed that before. And the guy's been around the league a long time. I'm like, am I living in bizarro world? How do I not notice that? But it's just yeah, this guy's pretty intense. But the husky eyes, anybody's had a husky dog. Lots of them have one blue eye, a little bit different. It's great. Nothing wrong. That's pretty unique. God, I wish I had husky eyes. That'd be sick. Anyway, he's in there. He had one pitch that he probably wanted back. And it's because he threw a changeup too hard. Other than that, man, he was wheeling and dealing. He's intense. And it's not like he had perfect command, right? He had a few walks in the game, but he was just a grinder. And he's just battling. And it was kind of symbolic of what the Jays are this season, right? What happens for the second straight game? I could have went to playalberta.ca, and there was no chance he would have convinced me to bet a home run against for Jimenez. And what does he do? His first at bat, third inning, exact same thing he did in game 3. 2-run blast. Unbelievable. When your number 9 hitter is going consecutive games with 2-run home run to get your offense started, that's unbelievable. You're loving it. And again, Connor Falefa, 2 for 3. Jimenez, 2 for 3. They were great in the bottom of the order, getting on base with walks, sacrifice bunts. They played small ball when they needed. They played big ball when they had to. You have Guerrero Jr. hitting another home run. He's got 5 now. By the way, if you're wondering, the record for most home runs in one playoff season is 10. It's got a ways to go. Do you know who, by the way, owns the MLB record, Connor, for most home runs in one single year?
No, I don't.
Well, he's playing for the Mariners. Randy Arozarena.
That was just a couple years ago, wasn't
yes,
it?
That's
yeah.
right. And after him, it's 8. So he's 2 ahead of anyone else in one calendar year. And if the Jays can get through to the World Series, well, obviously there'll be at least 2 more games. And so if they win, that's probably minimum 6 games. right? Because even if they get swept, they still got 6 games. So maybe 7, depending on how long this series goes and then how long it goes. So Vladdy Guerrero, could he get to 7 or 8? Yeah, the way he's playing, why not? It's awesome. What about Addison Barger? The guy hasn't played outfield in a month. And he really didn't get much practice to do it because it was a decision in the afternoon. Santander, they had to switch him off the roster. They put him out in right field. Here's Barger making 2 really good catches, and then he guns down Naylor at third base to end what could have been potentially a little bit of a late rally by the Mariners. It was fantastic. Like, the Jays are beating you every way the last 2 games. Good pitching, timely hitting, big home runs, small ball when needed on sacrifice bunts, or just, hitting behind the guys when they're on first and second, so they move to second and third. Like, it was awesome. The relievers come in, they do the job. Hoffman, Dominguez. Hoffman comes in. Hoffman looked great in his inning. 2 strikes. And would he throw like 10 pitches, 2 strikeouts? He was awesome. So Varland again. And by the way, am I the only one? Does Varland and Trent Frederick not look alike? You ever notice that, Cons? Look at Varland and look at Trent Frederick. Quite similar.
A little bit. I can see it.
They are. So
I will say, Gregor, one thing about the Mariners, like in a series like this, especially in the playoffs, you can't make mistakes to let your team back in it. And it seems like they are. Like, it was a great throw by Barger, but maybe Naylor has to consider not going for third there. Wild pitches in key situations, allowing the Jays to score. Like, the Jays are doing very well. The Mariners don't need to be helping them out the way they are.
Yeah. So I look at, and hey, that's the difference. Like,
yeah,
playing a good game is a lot of the times the team who makes the fewest mistakes wins. Ask Oilers fans about last night. Right? Who made more mistakes? The Edmonton Oilers. That's why they lose the game. So it's man, but Mad Max Scherzer was unreal. Like, and you know what? Did you see the John Schneider post-game interview at the podium? And he was being asked about Max Scherzer, and he's like, man, I've been waiting for that moment all year, right? Because he has a reputation of being pretty intense. You come off as you're the manager, like, yeah, you go, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Like, I loved it. I saw some people, he shouldn't talk. I'm like, what are you talking about? The manager had no problem with it. You want guys intense. I love it. Right? He comes in the stairs, and I know he hit, he kind of shoulder bumps with Pete Walker. Whatever. Like, this is pro sports, right? He didn't like run him over, but I love that altercation. Yeah, I'm okay. Like, I loved it. Before he even got to the field, he's like, I'm not coming out of this game, right? And that's what you want as a manager, right? Like, you want the guys to want to be in there, not scared of the moment. And Max definitely wasn't scared of the moment. It was awesome. It was a fantastic. I'll tell you right now, like, I was watching the Jays game and I was PVR in the Oilers game because one's a playoff game. I have time to watch through the Oilers game, but I was watching the Jays game last night because it's playoff game, man. And playoff trumps it for me, for the intensity, everything else. And, it's awesome. It's my son's at that age too. Any father or mother out there who gets to share something with their kids, like my son's big into the Jays now. And so, he's just living and breathes, kind of his first time. And so he's a very irrational young fan. They get down and run. Oh my God, they're going to lose. I'm like, son, there's lots of time left. The Jays come back, and then he always has a great time. And so last night, because, game's getting a little bit later, he goes to bed. He actually was listening to it online on the radio. So he set it up in his room. He's just got a speaker. And so he's in his bed and he's just like, Dad, like, I can like picture what they're doing. And it just reminded me, like, I loved listening to sports as a kid. On the radio. It was fantastic. Rod Phillips, I used to listen to the post game with John Short. There's just something like, you got to focus more, right? And you really, I think it's better for your imagination sometimes to hear what the guy's saying, and you got to kind of picture it yourself. I love it. You ever listen to games on the radio, Cons?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were driving around for Thanksgiving last week, so throw the Oilers on for Blue Jays. It's the best.
Yeah, no. So
just a little bit different with that AM Hugh sound kind of playing in the background.
Yeah, no, he loved it. It was in his room. He'd never done it before. He's like, Dad, can I do this for the next game? I'm like, 100%. Now, tonight it starts early, so it won't be in bed. And, got some buddies coming over, but still, he was all over it. He thought it was great. He's like, I can even play mini sticks and just listen to the game. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Right. You can do some things at once. So it was awesome. I'm thinking the Jays fans, people are going to be pretty fired up. Before I go to break, I would like to pass on my condolences to John Sexsmith's family. Johnny was someone I got to, obviously, before I got in this business, watched John. Then I had a chance to work at Global Used to do just some weekend stuff and work with him briefly there. But obviously we saw Johnny had some great conversations. He was extremely passionate about sports. Funny dude. I really remember him. That's another touchdown in the end zone for high school football, because Johnny, of course, used to do the back then the Eskimo games. But anybody I think who had an opportunity, John, for the last few years while battling cancer, was still coaching amateur hockey, and he loved it. And he was so committed. His kids weren't on the, obviously his son Joel was older and, was playing university and such, but he was still coaching because he loved it and he was very good at it. And, the sporting community here in Edmonton, John was a great fighter. He fought a long time. He's been battling cancer for many, many years. And he always had an upbeat attitude. I just saw him last month at the golf tournament for the Orders at the Glendale, and I had a really good chat. And John was very honest. He's like, you know what, man, I'm battling it, but I'm not sure how much longer I have. And my father-in-law was going through prostate cancer. And you do know when kind of the end is there. And, John and I had a really good conversation about MAID, because my father-in-law had chosen to use MAID, or was going to at that time. And it was great to see him. He always had a positive attitude despite everything that was going on. So to all his friends and family, of course, and coworkers, I know Kevin and John were really close, and it's a tough day for Kev. Him and Johnny worked together for a long, long time in that sports department. So our deepest condolences to the Sexsmith family. We'll take a quick break and come back. It's Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking for the perfect used ride? Now's the time. Drive away for as little as $25 bi-weekly. Go Auto has over 7,500 used vehicles in stock, with something for everyone. From budget-friendly cars and road trip-ready SUVs to powerful work-ready trucks. With around 70 locations across Canada, your next vehicle is closer than you think. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying for the first time, we've got the right ride at the right price. But don't wait. These deals won't stick around forever. Start shopping today at goauto.ca.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
When you get into a new Tundra, you might find yourself hauling ATVs into the great outdoors, even if your last outdoor experience was a backyard barbecue. Because with this much towing capability, fun, it's a serious upgrade. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 from $145 weekly for 64 months at 4.39% with $7,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca for your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
'Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.224. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's a Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And hey, it's Positive Friday and Lotto Max, your opportunity tonight. Are you feeling lucky? How about $20 million? Get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca, casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, all in one stop. PlayAlberta.ca or download the app. It's even easier. Of course, busy night in sports. We got baseball. You got football. Orders back-to-back on the weekend on the road, New Jersey and Detroit. Remember, afternoon games, 1:30 and 1 o'clock. We got pregame shows starting before both of them. So noon and noon on both days. So enjoy that. Now, let's get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Probably thinking furnace this time of year. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. And we're joined by Farhan Lalji from the CFL on TSN. And a huge night, Farhan. We'll get to the CFL in a second, man. But, probably a tough few days for you Mariner fans. What's happened? What's going on?
Yeah, the bats have certainly come alive for the Blue Jays. They got pretty quiet at the Sky Dome there for those first two games, and you kind of came out of those two games feeling that, look, the gap between the two teams' pitching staffs is greater than the gap between their offenses. But Toronto certainly changed that narrative in the last two games. So yeah, if you're a Mariner fan from BC, it's certainly been a tough couple of days, and they're getting going here in about 90 minutes. So hopefully they can salvage one of these.
Well, what's interesting about about this game or last two games is, the Jays just took out their two best pitchers, and now they're going to need Miller to do what he did in game one.
Yeah, and he's capable, right? And that's how these playoff series set up, and we'll see if Woo's involved at all, either here now or back in Toronto, and that certainly could be a difference maker for Seattle. But, yeah, you wouldn't expect the 41-year-old to do what he did on the other side last night, would you?
Oh, buddy. And, well, he's an intense guy, man, but he was battling. It wasn't like he was great in the sense of like just overwhelming them. He was struggling with his command, but last night to me just showed his ability to just keep in the battle and in the fight. And if you walk a guy, no problem. I'm going to get a double play after that, or, I'm just going to pitch my way out of it with a strikeout or a fly ball. And So that I felt was a great example of when you don't have your best, you still got to compete.
Yeah, for sure. And early in these games, we've seen some runs, and then pitchers have had to dig in and compete, right? And it happened in Seattle in Toronto, right, when the Jays got out to an early lead in one of the games, and Seattle, kind of came right back, and so that happens. And look, I don't know Toronto's pitching staff well enough to have watched him all season long, but it was certainly an impressive performance, especially when Schneider went out to the mound and they got into it a little bit for a couple seconds here and stayed in the game and got it done.
Farhan, now we switch over to the CFL, and the Elks have managed to keep themselves in the fight, and obviously they're going to need a little bit of help, and they got to beat BC tonight, which is no easy task. The Lions are playing very well. I look at the Lions, and they got the best big play offense in the game. They averaged the most yards per play offensively. I think they got like 110 fewer completions than Toronto, but they got the most passing yards. Like, they go big. They got the leading receiver. They got their third receiver has the highest 18.7 yards per catch. Like, they're a big play offense. When teams have success slowing them down, how do they do it?
Well, to be honest, like, nobody really has for the last 3 months, right? And Toronto kind of did, but if you looked at that game, a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers by Rourke. They got into some penalty trouble. They made some drops. Like, it just kind of looked out of sync, and it didn't necessarily feel like it was anything Toronto did. It just looked like BC kind of shot themselves in the foot. And honestly, like, it certainly turned itself into a big play offense. But if you really watch them play, it hasn't necessarily been that way, because one of the things that Nathan Rourke can do is he can go through his progressions. And if he's got to get it out of his hands early and the games dictate that he does that based on the types of looks that he's seeing, then he's prepared to do that. And they've got guys that can get some yards after the catch. But, you look at a Calgary offense, for example, like, you can tell when Vernon Adams can't really push the ball down the field, the underneath game becomes a bit of a struggle, right? And then you better be playing from ahead, because if you're playing from behind and then you lose the ability to run Dedrick Mills, that becomes a challenge. Whereas I think BC has sort of found a sweet spot where they can beat you multiple ways. And if they've got to matriculate the ball down the field, then they can do that, right? And, for the Lions, if they're going to take penalties and now you're going to get the 1st and 15 and 2nd and 20, that's what's going to derail them. And if they can stay away from that, as well as Edmonton's defense is currently playing, and I think they're much better than they were in the first 7 games when BC played them twice. I still don't know that Edmonton can hold BC under 30.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if they can either, which to me, tonight is a game where the Elks offense, they're going to have to match them. They're going to have to be more aggressive. Cody Fajardo's, he can't just settle for the safe pass tonight. Like, the Elks, they got the fewest passing yards in the league. Now, Justin Rankin might be the most explosive player in the game right now. There's no question. If you just look at his runs compared to everybody else, he's got 12 runs at 20-plus yards. The next closest guy is 7. Like, he's been really dynamic at it. But you got to find a way to get the ball downfield, and sometimes in the middle of the field, Farhan, and not be worried about, this might get deflected. You got to trust yourself as a quarterback and throw into some tight spaces.
Yeah, 142 yards, which is what Cody had last week, isn't going to get it done. He's going to have to do more. And you're right. Like, Justin Rankin is, as good a player as there is on that field tonight from either team. And if you're BC and you're Mike Benavides, your entire focus needs to be Justin Rankin. And will that open up other things? It's going to open up other things, just a case of whether or not Cody can see it. And one of the things with Cody is that he doesn't necessarily go through all his progressions. And that's not a criticism. It's just that, because of how he throws the ball, he must throw early, right? Like, he just has to, because in order to get the ball into this spot before somebody can close on it, he has to get the ball out of his hands earlier than most quarterbacks who might have a little more velocity can do, right? Like, you see what Nathan does, and there's times where he's just about to get hit and he can snap it out there. Well, Cody can't snap it out there. He's got a much longer delivery. So it makes it tougher to find that guy, is my point, right? And you and I have talked about it before, that I'm not sure Edmonton necessarily has a very dynamic receiving core. So they're going to have to, they're still going to have to play a level of ball control, but I think BC will do everything possible to take Rankin out of the game. And much like I just said, I don't think you can hold BC under 30. I don't think you can eliminate Justin Rankin. I think one way or the other, Rankin's going to find a way to get 100 all-purpose yards. But can they keep him close to that amount? Because if he gets 200, which he's capable of doing, rushing and receiving, now you're in trouble, because then Edmonton gets to control first downs. They can continue to get first downs and time of possession, and then it becomes much more difficult, right?
Totally. Farhan Lalji joins us here on Sports 1440. You mentioned the Elks defense, Farhan, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. We had Joel DeBlanco on the show, and he talked openly about how he thinks that the players understand the plays now because they were a pretty young defense to start, and their coordinator JC Sherrod is trusting them to say, okay, these guys know what I'm going to call these plays in certain situations, because I think their defense has improved a lot, whereas the offense is it's kind of been okay, but I haven't seen as much improvement offensively as I have defensively.
Yeah, I think in the early stages of Cody Fajardo, we did see the improvement offensively. But look, the bar was low, right? Because Trey Ford just wasn't producing offensively, right? So, but then that's kind of leveled out. But the defense has continued to accelerate its growth. And you're right, they've simplified a little bit. And I think it's just been such a cool story of guys taking advantage of opportunity because, if you'd have asked me at the start of the year, I would have said that Morgan and Anderson are the best linebacker tandem in the league. Well, now DeBlanco and Mogensen are pretty darn good.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You put these guys in different spots, and then how does a team without Jake Ceresna get better at the defensive line spot? And he's a good player. There's no criticism of him, but you've got other guys that have taken advantage of an opportunity. The secondary's gotten a little better, players like Ross and others that have really kind of stepped up there. So, collectively they've done it. You've got some rookies out there and they've kind of come of age. And, we saw what Calgary did in the early stages of the season with a young defense. I think Edmonton has found a way to do that late.
Yes, no, very true. And JC Sherrod, you evolve as a coach and you learn more. And I think offensively, now I saw it last week when they gambled on 3rd and 2. And I can argue that one gamble changed the whole game. That's when Rankin rumbled for a 64-yard touchdown early in the third quarter, because the stats will tell you, Farhan, on 3rd and 2, you should be gambling more. If you've got a really good, I think it's 68% of the time, according to Steve Daniels, that you make it, but teams only ever try for it 35% of the time. So, teams should be going for it more. And the Elks did it in that case, and it got them going. They were in a must win. And I would expect tonight they have to have a go for broke type of mentality. There's no tomorrow for them. They have to win this game. And I don't think you can beat BC by being cautious. I just don't think you can, just because I think BC's offense is too hard to slow down.
Well, you're 1,000% right. And that is an advantage that BC has because it forces teams to get out of their comfort zone a little bit, maybe try to do a little bit extra because you feel you need to. And again, as much as I respect what JC's done and what that Edmonton team has done, you're not going to shut BC down, into the low 20s. It just isn't going to happen. So you may need that fake on special teams because you need to steal a possession, right? You may need to go for it a couple more times on 3rd down than you normally would because you just don't, as much as you trust your defense, you don't want to put Nathan Rourke back in the field. So I think you'll see that, and that makes for more exciting football. And I think Mark Killam is comfortable in that world, right? That, generally as a special teams coordinator, you want your special teams out there. But in this case, he's not afraid to put his defense out there. If you gamble and you don't get it, he's not necessarily afraid there. But I think he wants to find a way to steal some possessions.
Farhan Lalji joins us. Farhan, what do you make of Elias Pettersson start to the season for the Canucks?
I think it leaves you wanting if you're a Canuck fan for sure, right? I mean, the first 3 games, there was just nothing there. And I'm not saying he played poorly. I'm not saying there was a lack of effort. I'm just saying there was a lack of bottom line. Now you can say, look, it's only 3 of 82 and it'll get better. 5-on-5 against Dallas, it was okay yesterday. But the fact that you got to take a guy like Connor Garland and Drew O'Connor and put them on his line, to me, what it tells me is that this is a player that currently doesn't want to drive play. He's not dynamic with the puck on his stick. He's not hungry to have the puck on his stick. So what do? You put him with a guy like Connor Garland who wants the puck on his stick, who wants to drive play. And then you get Drew O'Connor out there who's a guy that forces Pettersson to play with a little more pace because he can skate and he can go out and fish the puck out of tough areas and get the puck back to him. So, rather than him being the facilitator, they're trying to find others to facilitate him and build his confidence up. And if that can happen, then maybe he can go back to that role at some point down the road here. But right now it's been a little bit underwhelming. And again, not terrible. He's not getting knocked off the puck as much. We see him trying to block shots. We see him, move to get into passing lanes more. There are some things there, but he doesn't want the puck as much, and he's also struggling in the faceoff circle, so he's being forced to defend more.
Yeah, well, and that's never right. I don't care who you are. The more you have to defend, eventually you got a better chance of getting beaten, and that's just how it goes. Quickly, I know because you're a big football guy and you cover all all of it. What do you make of the wild start that is the NFL season? Upsets galore all over the place. Last night we had two 40-year-olds going back and forth like a heavyweight title fight. And Joe Flacco, who, by the way, was unreal in his post-game press conference. I thought that was fantastic. But, like no one thought the Bengals were going to win that game. The Giants, like we've had lots of big upsets. So what do you make of this NFL season? And do you see any team that stands out?
Well, look, the teams that I'm buying, like, look, I think Kansas City is going to turn it around really quickly, and I think they have offensively already. Right in the NFC, I'm still a believer in Detroit. I think Seattle's going to get there. I'm definitely buying Tampa Bay. Like, I am totally buying Tampa Bay. But there's some others. Am I there yet with the Colts? How their defense is? Not quite, even though I really like what Daniel Jones is doing. But what it speaks to is that there's a tremendous amount of parity. And I've never seen anything like this. Like, I mean, even Kansas City, I say I'm buying and they're going to get it back. They're still only 3-3, right? Like, they're still playing with very small margins for error. And the Colts are sitting there at 5-1 atop the AFC. Who would have predicted that? So I think the parity has been outstanding. I think the games are unpredictable. It makes it better to watch because we all think the NFC North is this amazing division. Well, really? Not the NFC North, the AFC North. And it just hasn't been that this year.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, those two teams go out there and play the game that they did last night, right? I mean, that turned into must-see TV, even though you wouldn't have expected it with two 40-year-olds. So I just think there's so much unpredictability on a week-to-week basis that it's made the NFL a lot of fun the first half dozen games of this season.
You think there's any chance if Edmonton beats BC that Toronto can find a way to beat Calgary tomorrow?
I don't know, man. With Jared Nagy in and the number of players that they're sitting, I think that's a tough ask.
Yeah, it is.
So like they need a lot of help, right? And even you look at Winnipeg Sask, in that game and the number of players Saskatchewan's sitting. Now Saskatchewan's not fielding chopped liver. They're playing guys, including Jake Mayer, that have played and won CFL football games before. And I think they'll probably play a better lineup when they play BC the following week. But I just think it's a big ask right now. A lot has to go right. But look, we're only talking about 2 weeks, right? So you just hope for Edmonton that they can just stay alive one more week and then see what comes the following week. Right?
Well, yeah, all they can do win tonight. And, who knows what happens. As we've just seen recently, upsets happen all the time in pro sports. But for the green and gold, they just got to win. It's to me, it's that simple. They just got to find a way to win.
Yeah, and then, there is something to be said. I know it doesn't really happen as much in hockey, but I think in football, there is something to be said for carrying momentum into the next season. And they can really begin next year with an entirely different narrative because a lot of people believe Edmonton's the team you don't want to play if they made the playoffs, right? Given what they've had to go through to get in.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the team you want to play in the West Semi.
Well, they've beaten Calgary, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg here in their last 5 games. And they
would have had to have beaten BC to advance,
yeah.
Right? Like to get there, they'll have had to have beaten them too.
Yeah. Like I think if they miss the playoffs, they're really going to regret that those back-to-back games in Hamilton and Toronto where they were the better team for like 58 minutes and then just couldn't close out the game. And so we'll see if it comes down to that or not. But there are lots of arrows pointing up.
I think they're going to regret letting Jason Gregor make their quarterback decisions for the first half of the season.
Yeah, that wasn't the case, buddy. Well, what's interesting is I know everybody was all down on Trey Ford. Well, you watched the game. Their defense was abysmal for the first month.
I know it was.
They're it didn't like they. It's amazing like how far off the ball they played the first month of the season. It was wild.
But it's also amazing, and Montreal can be a testament to this, how much a quarterback improves all 3 phases.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. There's no doubt about it. And they don't make as many mistakes. I still would like to see their offense, like especially those 2 losses. I don't think they were aggressive enough. And even the game against Winnipeg, they could have gone for the tiebreaker, but the defense kept giving them the ball in the 4th quarter and they did nothing with it. And that's another disappointment from the offense. I think the offense lately hasn't been good enough. I've really liked the defense of the Elks.
Well, we can consider this though, right? Like everybody was so excited when Cody Fajardo came in because the bar was set so low, right? And he did everything he could. Like he's maximized his ability and he's maximized the ability of that offense. But next year, the curve is different.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like if he's going to come back next year as the starter, and now you're not comparing him to Trey Ford anymore, right? You're comparing him to the best quarterbacks in the CFL. And that changes things because the bar gets set differently next year than it is this year.
Do you think that what happens to Trey Ford? Does he just renegotiate his contract in Edmonton? What do you think happens?
there's zero chance Trey Ford comes back next year on the same deal. Like none.
No chance.
Right. So if it just depends on his willingness to renegotiate, maybe he wants a fresh start. Maybe the club decides to move on altogether. I could see that happening. I haven't talked to people there about how, the last dozen weeks have gone with him as the backup, because we know previous coaching staffs have said that he hasn't been as engaged when he wasn't the starter, right? So I don't know what it's looked like, because our focus has been on the defense and Cody since the quarterback changes happened. So I think, if the organization feels good about how he's conducted himself the last 2 months, then I think there's a window to renegotiate the deal. But if they're not, you can certainly see a scenario where they just decide to move on altogether and let him have a fresh start.
And we'll see. Farhan, great stuff, buddy. Good luck to your Mariners. It's not looking good. The Jays got all the momentum right now.
Go Mariners. These series can flip. Let's hope. I'll see you later, buddy.
There you go. That's Farhan Lalji from TSN. Huge Mariners fan. Been a Mariners fan for a long time. Let's take a quick break. We'll return and we'll go in the mind next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
It's back. The world's best curlers are returning to this queue for the Grand Slam of Curling Co-op Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Co-op Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440. After every game this season, tune in to Andrew Walker for the post-game show. Let's talk some hockey. Let's talk about the game on Sports 1440. Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
When you've just got to get your pigskin fix in, it's Game On! Game On is Sherwood Park's new home for game night and good times. Every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, Game On wants to see you cheer on your favorite American football teams with 40-plus TVs to watch. You can enjoy $7 pints of Molson and Miller Lite, as well as $7 dry ribs. Get your squad together and book a table online at GameOnSP.ca. Are you ready for some football? Then it's Game On! Game On Kitchen, Sports Bar, Arcade, Baseline Road, Sherwood Park.
GMC's 0% event is on now. Get 0% financing on all remaining 2025 GMC models on limited terms, like the 2025 Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab at 0% financing for 84 months. The 2025 Terrain Elevation All-Wheel Drive at 0% financing for 60 months. And the 2025 Canyon at 0% financing for 36 months. No matter what you need, there's a GMC for you. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome Friday. Rolling through. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's a big Friday night. You got the Jays and the Mariners. Game 5. It's suddenly a best of 3 as the Jays won 8-2 last night. And the green and gold. So you can go back-to-back sporting events, boys and girls. It's unreal. And the Elks in BC to take on the Lions. That'll be an 8:30 kickoff tonight, Edmonton time. Elks need a win. And you keep the hope alive. Obviously, they need a Winnipeg or Calgary loss with their win to make next week's game more enjoyable. But either way, they've had a good stretch run, and we'll see if that can continue tonight. Now let's get to In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. One of Alberta's most diversified electrical contractors is hiring because they're expanding. They just keep growing, more opportunities. Second, third, fourth year electricians. If you're looking to work for a fantastic company with excellent benefits, lots of opportunity to grow, send your resume, careers@actionelectrical.net. Tell them we sent you. It'll help it out. As we welcome in once again, Lorianne Munzer, gold medalist, of course, mental coach as well. In the Mind. Lorianne, how you doing?
Doing awesome. It's Friday.
It is Friday. It's good. And I wanted to kind of focus today on a little bit of, because I think this relates to anybody who's coaching or even parents for amateur sports. And obviously the main goal is fun, but, coaching a group, whether, obviously a football team's massive because you got lots of kids, but, maybe you're an individual coach, but lots of team sports, you have lots of different personalities and kids are going to react different in different situations. And, you want them to try harder. And sometimes there's things that I know you've dealt with kids that what kind of holds them back sometimes for maybe giving their best on any given day.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I see, Jason, is that the young athlete doesn't want to let you down or doesn't want to let mom or dad down because there's been so much focus, so much attention on, you got to play well, you got to win, you got to succeed. And sometimes it takes the air out of the balloon of having fun. And it's just, okay, well, what are we dealing with here? And like you said, there's so many personalities. I think there's 16 different types. And then there's the 3 or 4 different learning styles. We've got visual, auditory, kinesthetic. We've got the tactile, and then bring in attention span.
What's kinesthetic, by the way?
Kinesthetic is like the physical movement. So if you think kinesiology, that's movement. And some athletes are really, I'm very much kinesthetic. I'm very tactile because if I can touch it, then I can see it, I can feel it. And there's something real about it versus something intangible. But then it's like, okay, then you bring outside distractions in. And I think it comes down to, number one, are you having fun? But are you playing for the joy of it? Are you playing for the fun of it? Or are you playing because somebody said you have to, or you don't want to let somebody down? And it could be just your coach. You've got so much respect, or you really like that person that you don't want to let them down. And we even see that with adults too.
Well, yeah, I would think so. So when you're a coach and maybe even a parent, I guess let's start with parents first because they should probably know their kids better. How do parents kind of find out what's the best, like how their son or daughter functions in a sporting environment? How do you learn that as an adult to kind of have a realistic expectation of what your son or daughter is capable of?
I think it comes down to, Jason, observing, because you've got to observe the athlete in the environment. Are they excelling? Are they kind of neutral? Or are they unsure of what they're doing or where they're going? And I've always found it, even like when I've been in sports, it's like, if you know what you're doing, if you understand, then you have a greater chance of doing much better. But if you're not, this is where the coach, where the parent comes in of going, just sit on the bench, sit on the sidelines and observe. Just like, don't say anything. Just have fun watching and see what comes out of it. Because number one, that will take the pressure off. And instead of trying to tell the athlete what to do or your child what to do, you can start asking better questions. And it's those questions that lead to the insights of, well, how could I be a support or cheerleader as my son or daughter prepares for their games, or my partner preparing for their game. And then also what to do afterwards on, do we even talk about what happened, what transpired, without bringing, the bells, the whistles, all the videos. It's like, look, let's have fun and let's not make this so serious. And when you take the pressure off, that's when the performances will go through the roof.
Yeah, it is, because it's an ongoing process. Because I think some kids, like, everybody age is different. Doesn't matter. I'm sure every parent out there has multiple children will know, like, Bobby might be mature at 14 and young Steve doesn't mature until he's 18. Everybody's different mentally, physically, all those sorts of things. And as kids progress, I think too often, even in associations or coaching evaluations, it's like, well, Johnny was at this level last year, so he's only capable of going to this level next year, right? And I think even during the course of a season, sometimes we put limitations. We might have unrealistic expectations, but then we have limitations on where we think someone can grow. Like kids and young athletes, like, hockey's a late developing sport, and that, like, late develop. I'm not talking 10. I'm talking up to 20. Like, lots of players are still developing after the age of 20.
Yep, absolutely. And the development, like you said, is going to be different with everybody. And again, it's a matter of going and watching, observing, but then also don't cap them out, because if you put a limit on it and they see that you've put a limit on it, that can stall their development, because when you're younger, your brain, your mind is a lot more pliable. You can actually enhance it through confidence, through support, through encouragement, and visualization. Obviously, the easiest one is training for your body physically, but to be able to put all of that is easier as they're younger versus when you're older. Like if you're 30, 40, those athletes have a different mindset. They're already set in their own ways. So being able to give them a picture of going, oh, I could buy into that. Yeah, I could go do that. The kids are they're hungry. They're ready to go. And 9 out of 10 times they're going to do what you say until they figure out either you don't know what you're talking about or it didn't work and they know a better way. So it's about finding that balance, but also asking the kids, because rarely do we ask the kids, what do you think would make this situation better? Or what do you think would make this play better?
Yeah.
Because we're always tell. What if we stopped telling and we started questioning?
Mm-hmm.
Even just, put your Curious George hat on and go, hey, what would you do different? How could we make this better? And then pairing, we've talked about this before, pairing your athlete up with another person, because you learn quicker. You can teach each other different things that you're really good at. If you and I were paired up, I could probably share something. You could probably share something back to me, and it would just take us up to a whole new level. And it also infuses the fun too.
Right. Well, it kind of leads me to my question of, I think a lot of kids, they just naturally, they want to do better. Right. And so sometimes they don't know how, because I know you deal with a lot of young athletes and finding that, you're capable of more than what you think you are. Sometimes self-doubt can be our biggest detractors, right? How do you work with kids? So, they lose, not a lot of kids have it, but they're like, oh, geez, maybe I'm not that good, rather than, no, like maybe I'm capable of more. How do you, and is there a right age you found that works better for kids? Like, do they have to be a little bit more mature to understand that?
I don't think so. I don't think we give them enough credit.
Okay.
I think number one is find out what they're thinking, find out what they're feeling, because those two things are going to be the drivers for their actions. More, what are they feeling? Because the thoughts are going to drive the feeling. But if it's a feeling of doubt or fear that I can't do this, they're going to get paralyzed. They're going to stop right in their spot. But then if you flip the question of, well, what if you were able to do? This is the one time I like to play the what if game.
Okay.
What if you were able to maybe go another lap or do another drill or do another pass? What would happen if that was the one that just changed and moved you to the next level where you go, oh, now I get it. Now I understand. And then you can do it, because sometimes it takes you 10 repetitions. Sometimes it takes you 20. Sometimes it's going to take you 100. But if the athlete doesn't have the picture in their mind of what are we shooting for, no pun intended, but what are we shooting for, they really won't know what to do. And then they're going to ask, well, I don't know how to do this. The clearer your picture is for explaining what you're going to do, the drill, or, well, let's go 5 levels up the mountain. Let's just get to the first base camp. You're going to have a better return on them clicking and putting the drill or the skill together.
I know you've worked with lots of athletes and even yourself, that when you push through the glass and you make it to that next level, right? It's, were there ways that you found eventually how you could push yourself harder that was in a safe way to do it?
Absolutely. Just one more effort or one more rep or one more second or one more watt or one more kilometer per hour. It's just like, all I have to do is one more. That's it. And then I can do a reset, whether it's, a 5-minute break, a 1-minute break, or we're just going to cruise along. Okay. And then we're going to blast it again. Or there was always a thing of motor pacing. That was the one fun thing on the track is when, Steen, my coach, would bring out the motorcycle for motor pacing. You are literally slipstream 1 inch, 1 centimeter behind. You don't always get a chance to chase the motorbike or even sit behind the motorbike. So that was always the go-to reward of, hey, this is what all the training is for. And it brings back the fun and the excitement of going, hey, this is what we're training for. But sometimes if you keep doing the same drills over and over again, it just gets monotonous. So where's the challenge? Where's the fun? And just breaking it up every once in a while with some variety.
Lori, great stuff. Great advice as always. Great insight. We appreciate it. Have yourself a lovely long weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday. I know you'll be on with Carries on Monday.
You bet. Take care.
It's Lorianne Munzer. In the Mind is always brought to you by Action Electrical. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Quality Markets. If you're looking for great food, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're somebody's geez, got gluten. It doesn't really work. I can't eat pasta. Well, how come when you go to Europe, you can eat that pasta? Well, they have that type. Way more clean ingredients. Check it out. Loca.ca. 2 locations, Sherwood Park and Edmonton.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Week 20 in the CFL kicks off tonight. Elks in BC taking on the Lions. That gets going at 5:30 from BC Place. You also have Winnipeg taking on Saskatchewan at 6 o'clock. Major League Baseball playoffs rolling on. Blue Jays Mariners getting going in just over an hour. Game 5 that currently tied at 2 apiece. Then at 6:38, you got the Brewers taking on the Dodgers. And in the NHL, 4 games this evening. Lightning in Detroit. You got the Caps hosting the Wild. Canucks take on the Blackhawks and the Sharks in Utah. Oil Kings in action out in PA. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. In the BCHL, you got Sherwood Park and Coquitlam taking on the Express. That gets going at 8. And in the AJ, 4 games, including Kamloops taking on Canmore, Devon, and Bonneville, and Fort Mac hosting Grand Prairie. University of Alberta action this weekend. Golden Bears hockey taking on UBC tonight and tomorrow down at the Drake. Both games at 7. Golden Bears football will take on the Rams tomorrow. That gets going at 2 o'clock at Footfield. And at noon tomorrow, Panda Soccer taking on McEwen at Clark Stadium. Finally, some sad news to pass along as longtime Edmonton journalist and sportscaster John Sexsmith has passed away following an extensive battle with cancer. John began his career in Edmonton in 1990, winning a National Journalist Award. In 2014, he was actively involved in the community as a hockey coach with his organizations like Sports Central and the Alberta Cancer Foundation. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation. We'll hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and take a look at the New Jersey Devils with Stanley Cup champion and analyst Ken Danico. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them, so they're around for years to come. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
I'm Gene Principe for Legacy Heating and Cooling. If you need a furnace this Halloween, it'd be a grave mistake not to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Need repair? Revampire your furnace. Just
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy has a skeleton of furnaces in stock.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus no interest and no prints of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day and oodle oodle noodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440. After every game this season, tune in to Andrew Walker for the post-game show. Let's talk some hockey. Let's talk about the game on Sports 1440.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need.
224, welcome.
Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Paired with
Friday.
Personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It's a new season, Edmonton. Which means that it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Hey there, this is your wake-up call. It's time to change to your winter tires. Unless you want to be sliding and swerving around icy roads like you're some kind of dummy, head to Big Toy Shop and get it done right for a great price. We won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. Time to change your tires. Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road. 780-298-2797.
Start your day with a blast of sports. Kevin Carius, along with Brandon Douglas, brings the fire, the fun, and the fearless takes. Weekdays, 7 to 11. Text Kevin, 883-401-1440. Mornings with Sports 1440.
Horse to this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.305, welcome back. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to our Play Alberta pick of the day coming up a little bit later on, but you can go there right now. Guess what? If you're looking at the games tonight, Blue Jays. Actually, you know, I'm going to do it right now. My pick of the day. How can you go against the Jays the way they're rolling right now? They're actually a little bit of a favorite on the road today. So I like the Jays straight up to win tonight against Seattle. I think it's their bats have found their life again. And if you can get it won't be easy by any stretch of imagination, but I think if you can get to their two best pitchers, I think they're going to find a way to get to Miller. Miller was unreal in game one. No debate. I think it's tough to do it again. And right now, would anybody bet against Jimenez? The home run machine hitting out of the number 9 spot? I think so. So I'm going to go Jays. I'm not sure it's going to be as high scoring, though. I'd love it. But I'm not sure they're going to score. Well, they got 21 runs in the last 2 games, 29 hits. So, but I will take the Jays. I guess if you want to have a little fun, I might even I'm going to go with Jimenez extra base hit. There you go. Can't get greedy and go home run again. That'd be unbelievable. But I'll just say extra base hit. So there you have it. So welcome in Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation. Wanye, how you doing? Happy Positive Friday.
Well, I said to Declan out in the outside room, hey, Declan, you must be so pumped about the Blue Jays. Just assuming I'm the only person who doesn't care. I'm assuming he's a huge Blue Jays guy. He looks me dead in the eye and goes, I only like the Cincinnati Reds. Random team, Declan.
Well, everybody has different teams.
But it's just
the Reds. Well, yeah, the big red machine. That was a little bit before his time, but probably Barry Larkin. Maybe I don't know. Maybe even Barry Larkin's a little bit before his time. So.
You say Ellie De La Cruz? Is that?
Well, he's lately, yeah. Ellie De La Cruz.
This is
good,
Declan's
man.
guy.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well,
Blue Jays fans, this is their golden age. This is wonderful to see.
Well, for this generation, yeah, 100%, no question about it. And they're an exciting, fun team to watch. Like they scrap and they claw, and you know what? Like they're without their the guy who was leading the league in hits all year long, and guess what? They just still find ways. Like Jimenez to go back-to-back jacks in 2 consecutive games in the third inning. It's remarkable. You got a 41-year-old Max Scherzer. He's got the husky eyes, and he's just all intense. And you know what? That was a hell of a game to watch last night.
As a casual fan, when the manager came out and told Scherzer to leave, no,
he didn't tell him to leave. He just was having a conversation.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Pull him?
No, he wasn't going to pull him because Schneider's actually like when he walks to the mound. That means he's taking the guy out. But if he jogs, he's there just for a conversation. And I don't know if you saw Schneider's post-game presser. I thought it was fantastic. Just like Joe Flacco last night. I think people should just go watch Joe Flacco. Like, here's a guy like, shit, it's sports. And I find like hockey guys post-game sometimes like, loosen up for God's sakes. It's a hockey game. Here's Joe Flacco. He's 41 and he's answering questions and he's relaxed. Right. And he's talking about how, because, even when guys win some days, it's just like, oh, yeah, it's another game. And, well, like, whatever. Joe's 41. And he's probably like, man, I don't know if I'd be in here. And, he's running plays that he hadn't run since he was a rookie. Right. And he's kind of joking about it. But it was fantastic. But Schneider's like, man, I've been waiting for that moment because you've heard about Max Scherzer. He's really intense and he never really had one of those moments where it comes out and the guy's all right intense. And Schneider's a pretty intense guy too. So I could see why I loved it. Like that was, it was great theater to watch in the bed. Like, I don't know if you saw, but you saw the reaction of the infielders. They're just like, it's really intense. And they're loving it. Like, how can you not? Like, you watch their dugout. When a guy like Jimenez hits another home run, their dugout's going crazy because, like, they love every home run. But there's certain guys. It's like when Ty Emerson scores a goal, people get a little bit more excited on the bench than when Leon Draisaitl scores a goal because Leon Draisaitl scores a lot of goals.
That was quite the blazer that Vladdy put on after he hit the bejeweled.
Oh, yeah, that's their playoff blazer, buddy. Yeah.
Playoff blazer.
Well, they had the playoff home run jacket, right? And they had a regular season one, but now they got a new one for the playoffs.
So they come in from the home run, they put it on the dugout, and they wear it around.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh, it's great. Like lots of teams in baseball have different things. Like the Mariners. What's that thing the Mariners have called? It's I don't even remember.
Trident.
The trident, right? And so they hand the trident off to the guy.
In the dugout.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. So. Oh, but baseball playoffs, man. Like you're not a baseball guy, which is fine.
Baseball playoffs, so I can appreciate the magnitude of what I'm watching. It's like
100%.
watching the Olympics.
Yeah.
When you tune in this time of year, no matter who's playing, I totally understand the magnitude of the sporting event.
Yes. Oh, well, I think what's great about playoffs is people who aren't a fan of a sport all year long, all of a sudden they're like, well, I can kind of get like everything's just more emotional. It's more intense and it can draw you in to it. And I'm like, my wife's asking lots because my son's really into baseball. And so, my wife's been watching something. Now she won't watch a whole game, but she'll watch a few innings with us and stuff and has some questions and kind of figures it out. And, I think like, tonight we have our neighborhood, we have families always do a pizza thing tonight. And my son's like, Dad, like, we're going to be able to watch the game there, right? And I'm like, well, you're going to have to ask me. He goes, oh, he's going to have the game on. Like, it's so, and I know, of course, the guy's going to have it on, but I think it's awesome. Sports for a short time can bring a lot of people together because you feel part of something.
Yes.
You don't like, think about the Order playoff run. Now, our listeners are different. Our listeners are all watching the games all the time, the diehards. But even some of our listeners are casual, but you get to the playoffs and they're all diehards. They watch every game. They're planning block parties. I know husbands and wives who never watch it, all of a sudden in the playoffs, they're texting their spouse who does watch it. Hey, what are we doing for the game tonight? And they're like, what kind of bizarre world am I living in? And you love it, right? Like suddenly your family's more engaged. You got, Sally or Joe at the office who normally gives two, what's about sports they're right into it. And I think it's great because it just brings everybody together. And that's like the playoffs right now for the Jays. They do that. Obviously, Order fans have had the last 2 years. right up until the final game, it was an unreal 2-month stretch.
It's amazing to see all the fans standing for that long too. That kind of clues me into what like an event it is. Like it's one thing to go to a fall baseball game, to stand for 5.5 innings. Like, man, that's wild.
Buddy, it's, to me, like, I think it's great. Like, and I've gotten to go to some sporting events in Europe, and it's a different ball game, man. I'm telling you. Like, if their regular season games are like playoff intensity there. They're singing. They're like, I went to a game in Chelsea for soccer, and I was just like, what kind of world am I in here? And some college football has it.
Yeah.
Right. Like college football in North America is like wild. And that's like, if there's places that I look to say I want to go to, I'm like, well, I'd like to go to Yankee Stadium. Never been there. I would have liked to go to the old one, but Boston, I want to go to the Green Monster. Right. I got to go to the Forum. I got to go to Old Maple Leaf Gardens. I didn't get to go to Chicago Stadium, unfortunately, but like, I want to go. There's a few college places where I'm like, I just want to go just to see the entrance. Like, they've made their entrances like a phenomenon, right? The whole crowd, like the speakers are just shaking. The bleachers are shaking. Everyone's singing. Like, oh my God. I've shown a few of them online to my son, and we're like, no, when you're old enough, we'll go there. Because it just for the atmosphere alone, like it would be, I'm not a fan of that team, but I can be a fan of having fun and getting caught up in the emotion of things.
And if you're in a crowd too, right? And this is their thing. Like I went to an AC Milan game. I didn't know anything about anything, but the minute you're in that stadium with people, you're like, oh man, this is something else.
Yeah, like when something like, hey, this means something here. So let's go. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So I look forward to it. And that's what the Jays do. And, and then you got, hey, it's funny to me. You watch the Jays game. It's very different than watching the Oilers regular season game last night, right? Like it wasn't now from an execution level. Sure. Right. Like you're watching, and hey, I know Bouchard, he had a tough night right now. Evan Bouchard had a tough night, full stop. But again, for the 4th straight game, the Oilers 5-on-5 had a tough night again, right? Like they haven't had a game yet where their 5-on-5 scoring has really done much at all, right? They don't have a game where they have 2 5-on-5 goals. Like, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. Like Bouchard, yeah, and we've all talked about it until we're blue in the face. Like Bouchard struggled. And like, what else can you say? We know he's capable of playing better, but he's got to find a way to do it. And here's my thing about Bouchard. If you make the one play on Barzell, I'm like, all right, you made your big error, but then you can't compound it and be another one and another one. And last night was, I think, a prime example. If Wallman's in the lineup, I really think the Bouchard might have sat down a bit. But without him in there, you're like, well, he set Bouchard down. Now we're playing Stetcher and Emerson all these minutes. Maybe not. And some people might not want to hear that. And someone said, Gregor, the way Bouchard was playing, I'd still rather play Emerson and Stetcher that many more minutes. Frank, you probably could be right. It's hard for me to argue against that based on Bouchard just never seemed to get out of the funk. Right. And like you can have a funk that's, a play or two. It just can't last. It shouldn't. Obviously it can. It shouldn't last the whole game.
It's got to be infuriating for the coaches, right? Because he's capable of such a great level of play.
Yes.
What do they say after a game like that?
Well, you heard what Chris Knobloch said. Go say Bouchard can play better than that. And we know it. And, you got to be able to get out of it. Like he's not going to bury a player post game 4 games into a season. When Bouchard's first 3 games, I had no issue with, right? He wasn't making any real, like sure, you make a pass here or there, it doesn't work. But wasn't like last night. Like last night was, and sadly, it's predictable. Like I said, I don't think Evan Bouchard, look, the season started, I didn't think he magically was going to just eliminate those games from his repertoire. It's still there. Now, that one was one of the worst because it was multiple errors. Right? But he'll have another game where, he'll be the last guy back and he'll try to make a move because it does work lots of times, but it won't work. And you'll be like, well, you got to pick your poison on when to try it. Like if it's a 6-2 game, different story. And even when he did that one, it's early enough because Edmonton did come back and we're leading 2-1, right? So it wasn't like, it's different than if you do that with 4 minutes left than if you do it with 54 minutes left, right? You have more time for your team to make up for the error. But he just kept making errors, and that's what made it challenging. And the Oilers themselves, like, look how many penalties they took in the third period. Like the third period, to me, too many penalties. Eventually, you're going to get burnt, which they did. And 5-on-5, they can't score. So unless you're going to rely on your power play to score 2 goals a game, and you're going to only score 1, and then you got to win every game 3-2. It's just not feasible. They got to get some scoring 5-on-5 soon, like right away soon, as in tomorrow afternoon in New Jersey soon.
Cameras off, mics off. What does the coaching staff sit down and when they review film and they're looking at everything, like, what do you say to Evan Bouchard at this point in his career? He's 5 or 6 years in.
Yeah, you probably have a conversation. Like, does Evan Bouchard know that he should not let, like, the thing was, and you teach young players, if you're going to deke a guy, deke away from his stick, at least, because then make the guy have to make a great play. He literally, Barzell's stick didn't even move. He just do right on his tape, and he just took it away, right? If you deke the other way away from the stick, at least now you're forcing the guy who's trying to check you. He's got to make a move. But you can't, like, you deke into a stick, you deke, when you try to go through players rather than around them, it rarely works. So I'm sure they'll freshen up, but, like, it's funny. I've talked to coaches about, like, there's certain mistakes that sometimes the coach says nothing about because, like, the player knows, right? Hey, you serve a pizza up the middle. Coach comes back, Bob. Yeah, I know. Like, most of the time they know, right? Like, I've talked to Struddy and other guys, Sean Brown. Like, but then there's certain times about if a guy, because if you make it once, all right, then you got to show the coach the next time you don't make it. And in Bouchard's case now, it was different mistakes, but he made a lot of big ones last night. So he's got to, I don't know what they say. I don't know Evan Bouchard well enough. Like, how does he react? That's, we just had Lorianne on. The coaches will know, does Bouchard react better if you, like, take a strip off of him? Because some guys do. Or do you just say, hey, Evan, have a calm conversation that can still include some expletives if you need it in a calm conversation. I'm sure the coach at this point kind of knows. And maybe they're like, we say nothing to Bouchard and he'll play better. I don't know what they do, but they should know at this juncture how to approach the situation.
It's the proverbial controller unplugging on plays that drives, I think, a lot of Oilers fans nuts. Where you just go, like, back checking on the one play last night on the goal. Like, keep skating, brother, quickly.
Yeah.
I don't get the lack of effort on certain plays.
Well, I actually thought the one thing was on the giveaway in Barzell, Bouchard was, like, hustling back. That one I didn't have an issue.
Yeah.
And even, like, I talked to a power play coach after the game, and I sent him the video of the goal because I just want to get his impression of that Islander goal where they scored, where they came up the board shorthanded, right? And then Horvat had busted the zone. So the power play coach tells me, goes, it's rare to see a penalty killer bust the zone as quick as Horvat did when the puck was behind the net. He goes, so it's obviously a set play, and maybe it's something teams have looked to say, if we get possession, Edmonton's guys are focused on, they're not thinking about the guy, jailbreak, because that's essentially what that play is. It's a jailbreak. And it didn't even go directly to him. It went up the boards, which was even more unique. So to me, that still looked like a little bit of a set play, right? Where Horvat is gone, right? Like, you don't see many penalty killers have a jailbreak like that out of the zone when the puck is that deep, but it obviously worked. And so maybe they had done some pre-scouting. I'm not sure. But the power play coach told me, he goes, when the puck goes around the boards, I can see why Bouchard isn't vacating the zone. His words, not mine. At that juncture, because you're thinking, well, you had two guys over on the wall, but it was a really good touch play. And so he goes, that's why he thinks it was a set play by the penalty kill, which you don't see a ton of when it comes to, like, hey, we're going to have a set play on the penalty kill. Lots of teams will have set breakouts on 5-on-5 and certain breakouts that just resolve not necessarily a stretch pass for a shorthanded breakaway. So I kind of have to give them credit. They executed it very well, but at the same time, you probably need some more awareness. He goes, like, Bouchard, you're probably thinking, well, I just saw him go by, but man, the puck is still right here. Because if Edmonton knocks it down, it's a 5-on-3.
It's a fairly, you don't want to say a meaningless loss, but, like, obviously it's early in the season.
Well, I'll say this. Yes, it is early in the season, but the Edmonton Oilers have 2 losses to teams who have beat no one else.
True.
Right? The Flames and Islanders are 0-7 in their other games, and they're 2-0 against the Oilers. So that's not ideal.
So how worked up do you get over this loss to the Islanders then?
Well, I think it's disappointing because when your goal as a team was to play better and have a better start, and you lose to a team that's winless with their backup goalie, yeah, it's not an ideal loss. So now you got to find a way to grind out at least a split in the next 2 games, right? And then, hey, if you get a split the next 2 games and then you win in Ottawa, okay, you come back, you're 3-2. And hey, if you're 3-2, you go 600 out of it on the road all year, you're doing cartwheels. So sure. But I think that was, you're up 2-1, right? Like, both of their lot they've led. They're up 3-0 against Calgary, lost. They're up 2-1 in that game, lost. So that's not ideal. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. It's Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you, Sports 1440. Ken Danico. We'll find out about the New Jersey Devils next here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand and go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think you just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th. I'm sorry, I don't speak deals. Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us. Oh, got it. Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Carve out for a cause at the Jason Gregor Pizza Pig Out, presented by GS Construction. Thursday, November 6th at the Canadian Ice House, indulge in unlimited pizza from amazing local pizzerias while you help raise some dough for kids' sport. Then vote for your favorite slice to help crown the People's Choice Award winners. Tickets to join Edmonton's biggest and best adult pizza party are just $30. Head to jasongregorpizzapigout.com for more details and to buy tickets.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
327 positive Friday. I can tell you right now that we talked about it earlier, and we'll talk about it again later on the show. John Sexsmith good friend of mine. I knew John for 25 years in the business, and John was one of the nicest guys. Really funny, really witty, really intense. Loves sports. Did a lot for the sporting community, not just on TV at Global and all the stories he did and all levels of sports, but definitely, John's been battling cancer since 2012, and 13 years, and he did a lot of volunteer coaching here the last few years. His son Joel, of course, plays for the Bears. He wasn't coaching his son. He was in the WHL, so he hasn't been coaching his son for a decade, yet he still kept coaching lots of other kids. And, we've had a lot of texts from parents and stuff, and, what an impact John had on their kids in hockey. And so for his wife, Joanne, and son Joel, who my understanding is Joel's going to lace him up tonight. And, his dad would be super proud of him to do that and play tonight for the Golden Bears. So best of luck. Be emotional night for the Sexsmiths for sure, and all of his teammates. Losing your dad at that young of an age is never good for anyone, for sure. Now let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's, and it's back, baby. Monopoly, 2 chances to win. Not only when you're at McDonald's, you get your burger, your fries, you can peel there, but you can also go online in the app and peel again. Feel what you can peel like a champion. Only at McDonald's. And speaking of champions, this guy knows a thing or two about hoisting the Stanley Cup. Did it multiple times as a member of the New Jersey Devils, longtime analyst of the Devils. Ken Danico joins us. Ken, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jason. How are you today?
I'm excellent. We're into 10 days into the season, and it's it's really exciting for some teams, and other fans are all like, "Oh my God, the season is over." Devils fans didn't like the start of the year, but they're loving the last 3 games. I want to focus on last night's game, specifically against Florida. What did you think of that Lundell non-goal? Like, when I watched that replay, do you think that's a goal the NHL should be allowing?
Yeah, look, I mean, the more I look at it, the Devils probably got a break for sure, and they'll take it because we always talk about things evening out. Unfortunately, they have given themselves a cushion, whether it would have affected the game or not. That would have just made it 3-2. Because it was called no goal on the ice, I think they found it hard to overturn, but I thought it was a little soft for sure, Jason, no question about it. So I probably would count it a goal, but I trust them conversing with the Situation Room in the National Hockey League. These guys look at things 122 different ways, different angles, but there's such a gray area in that goaltender interference. I thought Lundell did a pretty darn good job of where he situated himself, got in the eyes of the goaltender, and if you're asking me, with all honesty, I probably would have counted it, but I respect how they call these. The Devils are hoping it was there, but I couldn't really tell you anymore, and I'm going to leave it up to the referees conversing with the Situation Room to make that decision.
Yeah, I just think it's one where, you know what, and I agree with you, and I appreciate your honesty, Ken, because, to me, nobody wants that goal called back against their team. And so if you look and say, Lundell never went in the crease, that's my whole reasoning about this. He never stepped in the crease. So if we argue about the goalie, the crease is his, then any forward or defender who's in front of the net outside the crease, he should be able to go there and not worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what you're taught to do, right? And every coach in the league has said, not just to get in front of the goaltender, in front of the goal, get in the goaltender's eyes, and Lundell did a pretty good job. Now, if you want to be picky, maybe the skate blade was nicking the blue paint. For me, not enough, even if it was for a split second. There was partial gray, and again, that's nitpicking as well. But I thought he was able to get set, and I thought it was a really good shot by Reinhart, with Lundell doing a pretty good job of screening in front. It is what it is, and like I say, every team will take it once in a while. But I think that should be addressed with all the general managers and what they want called and not called, and maybe tweak the rule a little bit. But in general, respect the National Hockey League and the referees and how they call the game. Do they miss some? Do they make the wrong call on the ice at times because of the speed of the game and getting blocked, maybe their sight lines once in a while. Of course they do. It happens. And again, as a team, as a goaltender, as a coach, you're just hoping these things even out. I would be very angry if I'm the Florida Panthers. In fact, that goal tied the game.
Yeah.
But like I said, sometimes go for you, go against you. I'm not saying they wouldn't have had an opportunity. They might have. But the Devils, what they've been doing in this early part of the season, which for me is showing more composure, getting that insurance goal, not waiting for the other shoe to drop, say, where a team does score late. They did get themselves a 2-goal cushion, and so we're probably, don't have to scrutinize that call till the bitter end. But I agree with you, Jason. No question that, I thought it was a pretty good screen and probably a goal.
Yeah. Now, Ken, the one thing from watching part of that game, I recorded because I was just, Florida, obviously I want to watch him, and New Jersey. Jack Hughes, 8 shots last night. I thought he looked great. And I read some reports, people thought it was easily his best game. I know some people just look at the stat line. They're like, wow, what do you mean? He had 1 point. It's not great. But, 8 shots, he was all over the ice. And that's what he's capable of. You watch every game. Was that his best game and maybe a little bit of a wake up for him?
Yeah, I think by far for sure. And the early going, it's only 4 games in. I tell people he had a couple of assists in the first few games. I know everybody panics because these guys are supposed to have a point and a half a game. That includes the greatest players like McDavid and Draisaitl. Well, they have a point a game in their sleep, right? And we always expect more. And Jack missed a couple of months of the end of the season, missed the playoffs. So naturally, I believe it's going to take him a little longer to get his game, his cohesiveness, his rhythm, his skating, and everything kind of coming together as far as the footwork and all those things. And it was a little bit off, I thought, the first few games. I thought that was a blessing in disguise for the Devils because they can't just rely on Jack Hughes or Bratt. He's a guy that is going to, put the team on his back at times from an offensive standpoint through the season. We know that, but they found ways to win without him producing offensively. But last night, you just feel when Jack Hughes is buzzing and he's ready to go. It was right from the opening face-off. He had his feet moving. He was cutting on a dime. He was pulling away from defensemen. He was using that shot. That's one of his patent shots. We see a lot of top players where the goaltender gets leaning and you shoot from a sharp angle, but you still have to pick that spot. He does it as good as anybody. He's been doing that for the last handful of years, and a lot of times he freezes a goaltender. They think he's going to make a play because he's got such great playmaking ability, but his shot has really improved. And it was great to see him really ramp it up last night. And he's a prideful guy, and he's not happy when things, he's not producing or putting up points, but he wants to win, and the team found ways to win without him having maybe his best games the first few. And like I said, very early, but last night we could feel it from the booth. Jack Hughes is going to take this game over, or he certainly wants to, and he was a dominant force. Only had a goal, but he had plenty of chances and should have had probably even more than he had on the score sheet.
Ken, I watched Timo Meier in San Jose, and big, strong, power forward. And it just, he's had glimpses of it in New Jersey, but the start of this season, man, he's looking like the guy I think they got when they acquired him. And I know it's been a little bit up and down, but man, when he is on, he is one of the best power forwards in the game.
He is, and this is the start the Devils wanted from him. And again, I put it in perspective. It's only 4 games in, but he's usually and has been from recent history slow out of the gate. If you're going to win hockey games early, we know the importance of getting 2 points. The old saying, you can't make the playoffs in October, but you certainly can be out of them if you don't accumulate points and manufacture ways to win. And a big reason why the Devils are 3-1 after an opening night loss to Carolina, who doesn't seem to lose. They haven't yet. In fact, the only team left that hasn't lost a game so far in the early season. He's been a bull in the china shop, exactly expect, but the goals are going in. He's always had opportunities early on, just doesn't seem to find the back of the net as often as he would like early. But right now with a tip last night, just in on the forecheck. And when he gets that puck and turns his back on defenders, it is hard to get it back. And he brings an element that every team wants that the Devils don't have enough of maybe. But when Timo Meier's going like that, he is an elite force in this game offensively and just changes the game from that physical standpoint. But it's nice to see because these guys want to be confident. They want to get touches. They want the puck to go in the back of the net. And the longer it prolongs without you scoring, well, it seems to go on, and frustration sets in for a guy like Timo Meier. But he's got his game going right now. Him and Dawson Mercer in particular are the two big reasons for me right now. Nico Hischier. He's just a great 200-foot player that impacts the game many ways, not just on the score sheet. And they need their captain going. He always is going for the most part. Coaches don't worry about him. But Dawson Mercer had a real tough time the last year and a half, after a 27-goal season a couple of years ago, has played extremely well. And him and Meyer, to me, are the reason why the Devils are 3-1 right now, because you're getting production from them, and they've got some swagger back in the early going of the season.
Ken Danico joins us, a longtime player with the New Jersey Devils, longtime analyst. Oilers in New Jersey tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 start. The Devils have had some success against the Oilers, no question. Looking at the goaltending, obviously they're going to run here with Jake Allen. I would think Markstrom's out a few weeks. Any concern, Ken, that few weeks? Like, is that 2 weeks? Is it 4 weeks? Do we know yet?
Yeah, I trust what they say. I believe it's 2 weeks, give or take. Obviously, I hope it doesn't extend to 4, but apparently he tweaked something, and I don't think it's anything structural. So we're hoping sooner than later. Obviously, it was unfortunate because it was at the end of the game against Columbus. He came in the third period cold, and whether that affected it or not, because Jake Allen was cramping, he was worked against the Blue Jackets. They got firepower. He was outstanding through 40 minutes, and Markstrom held the fort in the third period, except for the very end where he fell awkwardly. And like I said, I think it's a couple of weeks. Goaltenders, they need their groins, their knees, their ankles, whatever it may be, and we don't hear a lot about it, but they need those to be pretty well 100%, where maybe some other players can get by, but a goaltender, the athleticism is everything. So hopefully it's just a couple weeks, and I trust what the prognosis is.
Ken, another guy that New Jersey is obviously building around just happens to be Jack's younger brother, Luke, and signed a big long-term deal for the Devils. I was looking at his point totals first few games is great. I look at his minutes, and I'm a big fan of Luke Hughes, man. I know he's maybe never going to be as overall dynamic as his brother Quint, but I might make the argument that I think he might be a better all-around defender because of his size. And that just, size matters playing that position at times. How have you seen his progression from last year, and kind of what's your expectations of what he could be over the next few years for the Devils?
Well, sky's the limit. At times it was always wait and see for me. I forget how young he is, but he is 6'2". He looks much stronger this year. He's more confident, and he's really wants to be that prototypical number one defenseman. Even though he didn't get a point last night, I thought he was dominant. The skating ability, he closes so quickly on guys. I would expect him to be out there a lot against McDavid because of his skating ability. One of the only defensemen might be able to keep up somewhat. He uses his stick extremely well. That's gotten better and better. And the points will come. And he started real strong. Considering he missed camp, it's really amazing how he's come out of the gate, and he's been a dominant force. So I was one of those guys saying, okay, we know we pay players nowadays. It's different. It's not what have you done, it's what are you going to do for me, and on potential. And I'm pretty bullish that this deal is just going to be fine for the New Jersey Devils. Luke Hughes is going to be a stud in this league if he isn't already, just from all his attributes, and he's going to be an all around a real steady, strong two-way defenseman.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'm a big fan of his for sure. Will you see? Which lines do you think would match up against McDavid and the Draisaitl lines tomorrow? Is he sure getting McDavid, I would assume?
Yeah, they can put they put Nico Hischier with all the tough assignments, but if they're split up, obviously pick your poison. The Devils are a lot deeper this year, including the addition of Connor Brown, who's looked really good and fit in very well thus far. So Nico always gets those assignments, but they have a lot of trust and faith whoever gets out there. I think it's more defense pairings usually with a lot of teams nowadays as far as who they match up against. The star players, star lines, and we know what McDavid and Draisaitl are, and they're as good as it gets. I mean, if Connor McDavid wasn't my GOAT, he certainly is now, just from what he did for the Edmonton Oilers, because I still have, it's pretty refreshing, and still have a soft spot for a guy that tells his organization, I want to finish what we've started here. I'm going to give you a few more years, and I'm going to give you a huge discount, and make sure you surround us with what we need to get the job done after going to back-to-back finals. So not to digress, but being a little old school, I don't begrudge players getting whatever they can. I respect that, but for what McDavid did, that just shows me that guy's got a burning desire to win, and I have all the time in the world and respect for what he did. And yeah, the Devils have a tough time whoever's on the ice against them.
Well, Ken, always good to catch up with you, my man. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
Yeah, you got it. Great being on with you, Jason. Take care, brother.
There you go. That's Ken Danico. Absolute beauty of a guy. Like, if certain guys that you would want to have a beer with, you'd put most fans, like, Ken Danico is, he's a similar personality to Strutty. He's got a really good sense of humor. Don't let Strutty, don't let him, if he's listening, his head will explode. But, both rugged guys. Now, Ken obviously got to play in New Jersey, played a really good role, played tons of minutes, has great stories, but he is just a real, just kind of down-to-earth, great guy to talk to. And I think for listeners, they'd be like, Ken Danico, yeah, that's a guy I'd want to have a beer with.
Intimidating as all heck, too, when he played.
Oh, yeah.
In a different category of intimidating.
Kenny took no guff, right? Now, hey, I remember talking to Kenny. He's like, yeah, I stepped out of my weight class a few times, probably stupidly, but yeah, he played hard and strong and is incredibly well respected in his dressing room amongst guys. He was a great guy, got along with everybody, would hold us. There's certain guys in the room that just, they have a real honesty to them, and they can hold superstars accountable maybe in a different way, right? Like, he couldn't sit there and say, hey, Scott Niedermayer, do this, because he couldn't lead that way. But Scott Stevens, Niedermayer, Brodeur, because every now and then you do need someone that has to say, hey, and just like on the Oilers, I think they need someone every now and then to put McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard and others, say, hey, that's not good enough, right? Because just because you're the superstar doesn't mean that you never can ever have some criticism and be asked by your teammates to do more. And I was always told in New Jersey, Danico, now, obviously not very often. That's why they're superstars. But when the time's right, you say something. Quick break. When we return, we got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. We got 5 questions coming up. Craig Button, Spec, and more on a busy, positive Friday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop for all things fun. If you like it, casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, and more. PlayAlberta.ca, or download the app.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from, with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mr. Rooter meets a ghost. 1 plunge, 2, and 3. A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. I can fix that. Now go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440. After every game this season, tune in to Andrew Walker for the post-game show. Let's talk some hockey. Let's talk about the game on Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Bring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel, Jasmine Crazy, multiple CCMA and Juno Award winner, platinum-selling recording artist, and top 10 hitmaker. Celebrate the new year in Alberta, country style. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union members. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
Game day sauce.
Buddy, quit rolling up to the bar and looking like it's grade 9 grad and you're wearing your dad's old work suit. Do yourself a favor and call Game Day Suits.
Game Day Suits is Alberta-based and makes fully customizable, made-to-order suits. Perfect for hockey teams, wedding parties, or even the office crew. Book your free consultation at GameDaySuits.ca.
I'm rocking one right now. I look deadly.
You know they can't see you, right?
Okay, Mr. Announcer, you want to go, tough guy?
Oh, Game Day Suits.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with a Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.51. Welcome back. Pause of Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. From the foundation in their honor, we've got some tickets to the Darius Rucker concert to go to tonight. Row 5. Pretty sweet seats. So if you'd like a pair of them, first responders, we'll let the first responders have the first chance to respond. If you would like to go to the Darius Rucker concert tonight. You can text in Rucker with your name and your email, and we can send. We got 3 pairs of tickets tonight to go to the Darius Rucker concert, row 5. Pretty good seats. So if you want to go, first responders, we'll give you the first chance. And then if we don't get rid of all of them, then we'll give them to anybody who wants to go. So stay tuned. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you're looking for a fantastic opportunity to get in the workforce or just change what you want to do, get a hiring bonus. They have a very competitive wage, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement. They're huge. You see them everywhere. They're huge sports fans. They got a great culture there. So check it out. Apply today. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, of course. 2-minute warning, always brought to you by Tater. Tater, a longtime journalist in town, over 45 years for the Tate man since been wheeling around. And Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. It's never slowed him down. He's always wanted to be in radio. And now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Fridays, he asks me to read it. So here we go. Here's Cam's words. There's a brotherhood of sports reporters who, truth be told, probably spend more evenings and late nights together than with our families. In press boxes across Edmonton, football, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, you name it. Tease each other, we grind each other, we laugh, we share long nights and early deadlines. We never say I love you in this business to our brothers. Maybe today's the day we should. John Sexsmith left us this morning, closing a remarkable 13-year battle with cancer. A fight marked by grit, humor, and that unmistakable twinkle in his eye. I first met John in the early 1990s at K97, where he ruled the sports desk with boundless energy and a pun for every play. When the Oilers radio rights moved to 880 in 1995, John steered the post-game open line with wit sharp enough to cut through the open line show after games. He took calls on the blue line and the red line. Later at ITV and Global, he stood tall, a voice of reason and passion, chronically triumph and tragedy with rare authenticity. And who can forget his another football for high school football when he was working for the Edmonton Eskimos public address system. This news comes with a terrible weight, sudden, unfair, and deeply human in its ache. We search for words, for meaning, for something that feels worthy of John Sexsmith's life. And then a simple, powerful idea from Kevin Carius. Tonight at Claire Drake Arena, the Golden Bears meet UBC. Number 3 defenseman, Joel Sexsmith, John's son, playing as father would wish. So let us gather quietly, gratefully together. Godspeed, Johnny. Your voice still echoes in our press boxes, in our hearts, and in the soul of the city that you so deeply blessed. And hey, Johnny, I love you. 2-minute warning, Cam Tate, Sports 1440. It's very true. John was a great man, a huge inspiration, was diagnosed with cancer in 2012. I remember interviewing John numerous times about his cancer and, all that went through it. And anybody out there who's battled cancer, like you think it's good and it's in a remission, and then it comes back, and man, it is a mental roller coaster, not just for you, but for your whole family, right? Like think about, how young Joel was when his dad gets diagnosed. And then you got to tell your young son that he's got cancer. Because a lot of times when you hear cancer, you think of the inevitable. And John was able to stretch that out to 13 years. He chose to live his life as a father, as a husband to Joanne, as a coach to so many kids. He was a huge advocate of cancer and numerous charities around town. And he did an incredible amount of work to help raise awareness and raise money. And John always had a smile on his face despite being dealt not a great hand for the last 13 years. So again, our condolences. Beautifully written, Cam. We appreciate that, and we think of John and his family. And I can tell you the Drake tonight will be rocking. It'll be very emotional for his young son Joel and all of his teammates, because you think about when you're a young man, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, you feel invincible, but you lose a parent or you lose someone close to you, and it impacts you differently. Right? I can speak firsthand about it. I can tell you, and I was a little bit older, but not that old at 27 when I lost my dad. My sister was only 21. And, so I see it. And that is going to be a very emotional game tonight for the Golden Bears. And so, you know what, if you were ever somebody who really respected John and appreciated his funny banter and wit way back in the radio days in K97, or when he was the in-house announcer at the football games or on Global and ITV for many years, maybe if you got some spare time, you want to head down to the Drake tonight and honor him by supporting his son Joel in what should be an emotional game. And I'm sure the Bears are going to come out fired up in that one. Because anybody knows, you know, like one of your teammates is hurting, there's just that natural teammate camaraderie where everybody comes together.
I remember back in the day, the post-game show with John Sexsmith, and he'd take calls, and we were little kids, and we'd phone in, me and my little buddies, and he would take all our calls, just like John Short did prior to, and I have them on tape. And like, you listen to those now with the ears of an adult, you're like, why would they ever take calls from children? This seems like a doomed operation. But I always remember him treating us very fairly, right? And talking to us like a peer. He never talked down to Oilers fans, especially little kids calling in. We always appreciated it. It was a great post-game show.
Yeah. Well, I know Johnny did it, kind of got that age because John Shore was the first one, right? Who had kids night.
We'd call in.
Oh yeah. It was unreal. So, Johnny will be missed. And, the last time I saw John was last month, and John, in always his honesty, I asked, it's going okay. And John was very open. He goes, you know what, man, I'm not sure how much longer I have. And, it's hard to hear. I always respect anyone who can be that forthcoming, but like, don't, that was the one thing I remember Johnny, when he first got diagnosed, he's like, I don't want to be treated different. Right. You guys still want to chirp me like I have cancer. It doesn't mean I don't have a sense of humor. Like, I remember him telling us that. We're like, all right. Now my thoughts to KK, of course, I know they're really close. Stoff and Johnny. Johnny was actually, I think, Bob's best man at his wedding. Like, those two guys have been friends for a long, long time. So our thoughts for Joanne and Joel, and KK and Stoff, and a lot of other people who are really close to John, who made a big impact in our community. I know many of you people, when you watch someone for that long, you feel like you kind of know them a little bit. So I know it's always disappointing to see. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Craig Button will join us. So Butts and I are going to have a few disagreements, I can tell you that. But first, let's get to the Command Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And it's getting chilly out. I know you don't want to think about it, but you need some winter tires. Maybe you can't afford all at one chunk. Well, don't worry. You can get 0% interest for 6 months, or up to 12 months, no interest. Find out how. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Week 20 in the CFL kicking off tonight. You got the Elks out in Vancouver taking on the BC Lions. That one gets going at 8:30. Earlier on, 6 o'clock, Bombers hosting the Rough Riders. Major League Baseball, Jays 8 minutes away from Game 5 out in Seattle, currently tied at 2 games apiece. And then later on tonight, you got the Dodgers looking to complete the sweep over the Brewers. First pitch, 6:38. In the NHL, Lightning taking on the Red Wings. Caps host the Wild Canucks in Chicago, and the Mammoth host the Sharks. The Wilkins are in action on the road in PA. Puck drop 7 o'clock in the BCHL. Sherwood Park, Info Quitlam taking on the Express. That gets going at 8. And then in the AJ, 4 games, including Camrose taking on Canmore and Devon in Bonneville. U of A action tonight. The Golden Bears hockey team taking on UBC down at the Drake. Puck drop at 7. Golden Bears football taking on the Regina Rams tomorrow at 2 at Footfield. And at Park Stadium tomorrow at noon, it's Pandas soccer up against McEwen. And sad news to pass along, longtime Edmonton journalist and sportscaster John Sexsmith has passed away following an extensive battle of cancer. John began his career in Edmonton in 1990, winning a National Journalist Award in 2014. He was actively involved in the community as a hockey coach with organizations like Sports Central and Alberta Cancer Foundation. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN and Ask 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace replacement company for zombie hunters. Those who know their old decrepit furnace passed away years ago. Its decaying husk shuffling around now as the furnace Legacy Heating will send your undead furnace to its grave, replacing it with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Protect your legacy from the beast in the basement. It's time to destroy the furnace of the dead. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest warranty. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means that it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet.
305, welcome back.
Using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta.
327, Paul.
If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
Michelle and Colette are
351.
sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's number one.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Herrenschwiener. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
it might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhawk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win friends with salad.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union members. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. I'm super excited to tell you today that we have fed over 250 families so far with our Feed 500 Families event. With that said, we are still short of our goal. We have decided to continue this on through to the end of October. With your help and your support, we can get this done. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendinitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, brought to you by playalberta.ca. Cons, I think you got a few people you're giving the Rucker tickets to. So did you hand them out yet?
I'm working my way through it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
Ticketmaster, you know?
Oh, fun times. Fun times. Okay. Well, there you go. As always, Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca. You can get involved. You can text us 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 in our inbox. We got Craig Button coming up momentarily later on the final hour spec. LT Wanye's World. It's a busy day in sports. Of course, you got Game 5 of the Jays. You got a must-win game for the Elks later on tonight. Oilers matinee tomorrow in New Jersey. Sunday in Detroit against the surging Red Wings. Actually, both of those teams have won 3 in a row. So, can the Oilers find a pulse 5-on-5? That would be nice. It's hard to win when you only score 1 5-on-5 goal every game. So. They've done it with some outstanding defensive efforts and a Stuart Skinner performance last night. Not great. Little sloppy by Bouchard, to put it mildly. And once again, a lack of finish offensively, 5-on-5. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day. Was that 4:20? All right, we moved him. 4:20 then. Perfect. All right, we got a little bit of extra time. Great. So Craig Button will come up in 20 minutes time. We'll get to some text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Now, guys, I understand Bouchard's going to have a bad game, but is one mistake I can live with. When it's multiple, is there anything the coach can do? Why do you think they don't sit him down? Would that be the best? Is there any chance when Malman comes back that Bouchard comes out? Well, no, he's not going to come out of the lineup. Because honestly, then I think you're punishing your whole team. Like the first 3 games, Bouchard was more than fine. So no, I don't think he's going to come in the lineup. Like, I don't even know when Wallman's coming in. Like, is Wallman going to come in and play back-to-back on the weekend? Like, I wouldn't be surprised now if they wait until he plays his former team, Detroit, on Sunday. That wouldn't shock me, to be honest. Hey, Greggs, I think last year you talked about Bouchard had a game like this, and when his offensive confidence comes around, his defensive games improves. Maybe that's what he needs from Nick. Well, that's Nick. It's very true. Most players, when you have confidence in one area of your game, it can bleed into the other areas of your game. But the thing was, Bouchard wasn't playing bad defensively up until yesterday. But then yesterday, it was just like, you've been in that situation like that. It was literally like he was in one of those soapbox derby races going down the hill, and all of a sudden the wheels came off, and it's just a garage sale, and here's a giveaway. Now another tire flies off, and there's a bad read. And it was... I guess if you're going to have a bad game, you might as well just say, well, let's just get out all the bad plays in one game. Here's a month worth of bad plays. We're going to do it all at once, because that's kind of how it was for Bouchard. It obviously wasn't ideal, I think, to put it lightly. But again, we can't keep overlooking it. 4 games, 4 goals, 5-on-5. Draisaitl, no points, 5-on-5. I mentioned the 6 leaders in ice time, 5-on-5 for the Oilers, have a combined 1 assist. 1. And those are Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Kulak. So those guys are on the ice. Like, you got to figure out a way to get some points, right? So they got to start there. And obviously, your 2 top dogs need to be more productive 5-on-5. Like, some people, it just feels like you can never say McDavid has to do more. Yeah, you can, when he's not doing enough. He's not. Like, for Connor McDavid, a few points on empty net goals and power play goals. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I look at that play of McDavid to pass off that chance in a 3-2 game in the low slot. Like, I'm sorry. That's a major gaffe. It's a major gaffe. It's Troy freaking Stetcher on the side of the net who's not even in a position to receive the puck. You got to shoot there. I'm sorry. You just do. Like, if we're going to rip Stu Skinner on bad mistakes, you're going to rip Bouchard on bad mistakes. I'm sorry. When you're in the slot, wide open, in between the hash marks, like any coach, you'll draw the box. Where do you want to get shots from? That's like heart of it, baby. And then you pass it up. Like, in a 3-2 game, I'm sorry, you can't do it.
It's not something that you feel good criticizing Connor McDavid because he's done so much. But when you're saying if we're going to criticize other players on the team, he shouldn't be immune to it.
Yeah.
But he does so much over the course of the year. He's a hard guy to criticize in the moment.
Yeah, but this is one game. And really it's 4 games. They haven't done enough. 5-on-5. I don't think that's unfair, for sure. Hey, guys, is it just me or is the power play very predictable and stale? I'm not sure what the numbers say, but last night it looked like McDavid and Draisaitl got the puck and everyone just stood and watched them from Stu Lou. Stu, I will disagree. The Oilers, every game they've got a power play chance, they've scored a goal. Their power play is 23%. And keep in mind, that's somewhat misleading. That's tied for 10th because they've had a few abbreviated power plays. So that makes the percentage lower. But if you actually look at goals per 60 in power play time, they're 7th best in the NHL. Like, I look at the power play scores 1 more goal because they didn't get a power play against the Rangers. So they score 1 more goal. Maybe they would have scored 1 more and they had some really good looks against Vancouver. They just didn't score. Well, now their power play is 28%. It's not even a conversation. I don't think the power play is that stale. I actually think they've showed lots of different looks with Tomasic, right? Like sometimes they're coming in on the left side. Now he's sliding out. He's down in front of the net. Then he slides into the slot. They're trying to set up plays there. So no, I don't have much of an issue with their power play at all. Like how many power play goals? Like every game where they've had a power play, they've scored. That's pretty damn good. And it's not like they're getting 5 power plays a game. So I don't have much of an issue with the power play. It's 5-on-5. Like if we're talking offense, it is it's 5-on-5. And like, hey, McDavid's the best player in the world. And he's just not scoring enough goals. At the end of the day, like assists are nice and that's all great, but you need to be a goal scorer. Because when you score the goal, you're not putting it onto someone else, right? Like there's great assists, don't get me wrong. When you make great plays and you find guys open and obviously, and it's not a knock, but Connor McDavid is capable of more than 4 points a game when 2 of them are empty netters. I don't think that in 4 games. I don't think that is outlandish to say when he's got 1.5-on-5. It's just not, right? Like Nugent Hopkins has, and Nugent Hopkins isn't a big 5-on-5 productive player. He's got 2 points. Kapanen's got 2 points, 5-on-5. Noah Phillips got a goal. Trent Frederick's got a goal. Mangiapane's got a goal. So you can say, yeah, it's going to get going. Okay, sure. But how long can you say that for? It's got to get going now, especially when the leadership group were the ones who said we need a good start. Well, defensively, the team's had a good start. Stuart Skinner stole him a game, so he's had a good start. He's got a .922 save percentage. It's pretty damn good. But 5-on-5, where the majority of the game is played, it's not good enough. It's just flat out to me, it's not good enough for them top dogs. It'll get better. I firmly believe they're not going to go, 8 games. I don't think they're not going to go pointless 5-on-5 in the next 4 games. Well, I'd be surprised. I guess it's possible, but I don't think it's bad analysis to like, are we only going to point out Evan Bouchard like he's the only player on the ice? Yes, he made some mistakes. But when you give the puck away or you're in the slot and you're wide open and you refuse to shoot it, you're missing a glorious scoring chance. How's that not a problem?
I'm with you.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's ridiculous how many opportunities and Slotty passes up. I don't know what he's thinking last night trying to pass to Stetcher, who's also on his offside. McDavid needs to be much better than that from soft roll. I would agree. Hey guys, McDavid's deferred shots in the middle of the ice all the time. This is not new. From Nathan. Well, lately he has, and I think that's fair. We saw it last year. And, I think, I don't know, like it would seem like it's a quick fix, just shoot the puck. But if it's like McDavid's he's not like an Austin Matthews kind of a shoot first mentality. And that's okay. Like he's become the best player in the world by being a great playmaker. And then, he'll score, not when he has to, but he'll shoot. And I just think that this is where I think, like, I don't know who the guy is sometimes that can get in McDavid's face. And I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy to have someone in your room who can hold your best players accountable. And it can't just be the coach all the time. Right. And so I know Corey Perry was someone that they had a lot of respect for. Right. Before that, it was Duncan Keith. So I don't know on that team now who's the guy. And there's a right way to deliver it. And trust me, anybody who's been in a professional sports environment, you can't have a thin skin and be adverse to having constructive criticism from your peers.
They need a Ken Danico.
Well, yeah. Right? Like Matthias Ekholm could probably be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see any reason why he couldn't be. So, and it's not like, you don't have to yell and scream at them. I think sometimes people think the only way to get there, you got to yell and scream at them. No, but you can have a forthright conversation, right? Or in film work, hey, sorry, you got to shoot the puck here. Like, I don't want an excuse. No, because you don't want to hear excuses from your teammates, right? So I'm sure that, hey, sometimes, like, that's 2 back-to-back games now against the Rangers and the Islanders where I don't think the skaters played great. Like, think about it. Stuart Skinner made some key saves to keep that 1-score game. Then the Oilers got back. They had a good stretch. They get up there 2-1. It's going pretty well. Islanders, I give them credit. And that's the other thing. Like, it's a short, like, there's certain goals that are just backbreakers, right? And so then that second goal, shorthanded, you're like, oh my God, it kind of took away some momentum. And so, hey, it's early. I get it's early, but it can't always just say it's early, especially when the organization themselves, from ownership, coaches, they're superstar. Like Connor McDavid said, we need a good start since September 1st, right? Like the first time he spoke at a captain skate, his message was, we need a good start. And it's not a bad start. Like if they win tomorrow, the 3-1-1, that's a decent start, right? So then you go to the 10-game mark. What do you can get? If you can, like I said, if you can win 6 out of your first 10, maybe there's one overtime. Well, they already got an overtime loss. So you know what? You get 13 points, 650 point percentage, take that all day long. That's a good start, right? And that's way better than most teams who lose the Stanley Cup. And that, even though you can say you want a good start, I do believe there's still that mental anguish and pain. You all come back together, even though there's new guys in the room. And yes, they felt it differently this year than last year. Historically, teams who lose the cup outside of the Boston Bruins in the last 11 years don't win more than half their games.
Do you think you need adversity throughout a long season to kind of create a little bit of a fire within the dressing room? Like you can't just come out of the gate, play 750 hockey all the way through and win the cup, right? Don't you need to have a little ebbs and flows of morale and tension throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, sure. But it just, I do believe that if you're always playing catch up, that's mentally more draining. I don't know if it's any physically more draining, but I do believe it's mentally more draining. And so that's why, hey, be 6-3-1. Right, or something like that after 10 games. And I know the Oilers, hey, they got, it's a road trip, but it's like the Rangers weren't a playoff team. The Islanders weren't a playoff team. The New Jersey Devils had 91 points. They're a good team, but they're not like dominant. It's not like they're playing Colorado, Dallas, Florida, Tampa Bay, Toronto in their first 5 games. Right? So, and like I said, Calgary and the Islanders are 2-0 against the Oilers and 0-7 in their other 7 games. So they kind of blown it a little bit. Not the end of the world yet, but if we're calling it honestly, I'm not worried about the team. I'm just making an assessment based on today that they need to be better collectively as a group, and I think it starts 5-on-5 with your 2 best players. Draisaitl, McDavid need to be the leaders offensively. That's their job. That's their job 5-on-5.
3-1-1 though, if they win the next game, like it's such a long season. How do these guys reset to start a new season? Like what's the exercise you go through when you know you're probably going to face 3 rounds of the playoffs after an 82-game season?
Well, other teams do it. It's not like they're the only one.
What's the process, though? Like,
well, I think you're a professional. It's no different than anybody out there who's a good doctor. You just, hey, you know what? I've had a stretch of good surgeries. Do I just suddenly not care about my surgeries? No, like you have personal pride. To me, it's just they're there. You're wired to want to succeed. I don't believe like you can have an off night here or there. Hi, Evan Bouchard. You can have that. But for the most part, it can't extend. So when does it go? And who knows? Maybe McDavid's just a slow starter. The last 2 years, he had 10 points in his first 10 games, which by his standards is a slow start, right? Because in 2024, when he had 10 in his first 10, he had 122 in his next 66. Like, so pretty darn good, right? So we know what they're capable of, but it starts, if we're talking about offense, and the 2 guys who are your best offensive players aren't producing 5-on-5. It's got to start there. It's just I can't think of any other option. Quick break. We'll return. Craig Button joins us next. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Strudley. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Carve out for a cause at the Jason Gregor Pizza Pig Out, presented by GS Construction. Thursday, November 6th at the Canadian Ice House, indulge in unlimited pizza from amazing local pizzerias while you help raise some dough for Kids Sport. Then vote for your favorite slice to help crown the People's Choice Award winners. Tickets to join Edmonton's biggest and best adult pizza party are just $30. Head to jasongregorpizzapigout.com for more details and to buy tickets.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com. Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
426. Jason Gregor. Wanye Gretz. Connor Halley with you on a lovely Friday afternoon. Thursday. Yesterday was Thursday. Friday afternoon. We have, of course, a little MLB playoff baseball going on as the Jays taking on Seattle. Vladdy Guerrero, another double in this game, and but the Jays left him stranded at second base, and now the Mariners have looks like they stranded a runner of their own at second base. So we're scoreless after one inning in a pivotal Game 5 matchup. Can the road team continue to win every game? Jays fans are hoping that continues today, but then ends as, of course, Game 6 would be Sunday in Toronto, and you can hear that game right here on Sports 1440. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice. Hey, curling fans, big weekend of curling. Check it out. The Silent Ice Center, the Grand Slam of curling is in town. Elite level curling and elite level fun. Anybody who's ever been to a curling spiel, you know it's great. And the Silent Ice Center, fantastic place to go. So the Grand Slam of curling, you get your tickets for the weekend. Very few left. So get them fast as we welcome in from TSN, former NHL GM and scout, Stanley Cup winner, now ace analyst and scout for TSN. Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I just want to make a comment. If anybody goes to a curling event and they can't have fun, they should never be granted a fun card.
Oh, hey, dude, I totally agree, man. Have you ever been to the Briar Patch?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a blast, and you know it was very similar. It wasn't very similar, but at the Olympics, you know, with the curlers, I mean, they're personable. They love being part of the I guess the joy and the fun. And it's a little more serious now because of the dollars that are involved for the players. It's become more of a full-time job. It's not a full-time job, but it is still a blast. And the Briar Patch, if you haven't done it, get it on your bucket list.
No, it's very good. Craig, we know that Evan Bouchard has his good games, and obviously last night was the opposite. It wasn't, and it's not just one play. It was multiple plays. You know, there's lots of people wondering, you know, Chris Knobloch, and I brought up the example last year in Game 4. He sat Draisaitl down after taking too many undisciplined penalties. Now, it was only for 6 or 7 minutes. Then he came back. He assisted on the game tying goal. Then he scored the overtime winner against the Flyers. And you know what? I think Draisaitl, I think he had like 2 penalties in the next 50 games. So it clearly worked. Were you surprised Knobloch didn't sit Bouchard last night? Or do you think it has to do with the fact that Wallman and Regula were injured and you're not going to play Stetcher? Or should that even have mattered? Shouldn't last night be a game where maybe you just give him a rest for 5, 6, 7 minutes?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can sit back and consider, you know, could Chris have done that? Could Chris have? You know, with Leon last year, and I remember that stretch, it was more about Leon, you know, not dialing in and digging in. And you know, you got to puck as much as Evan does. He made some egregious mistakes in the game versus the New York Islanders, and we saw that. But I don't think it was one of those ones where, you know, he's doing things that are like taking your team out of the game. And I know that sounds contradictory because the mistakes he made led to them being taken out of the game, so to speak. But at the same time, I think it's a little bit different. And I think the point is that with Eklund coming back from surgery or from his injury, you're without Regula, you're without Wallman. So what are you going to do? Start taxing your blue line? There's lots of back-to-backs. There's lots of compacted games in a short period of time. So I think you got to be careful with that. But I mean, I don't get it, honestly, Jason. I just don't get it. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the show before, but this was years ago. Harry Sinden had Ray Bourque in Boston, and there was some criticism of Ray Bourque. And oh my God, you know, he gives the puck away, he makes mistakes. And this is what Harry said, and I think it's a direct quote. He said, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Raymond, you know, a couple times a game, maybe even 3 times a game, he makes a big mistake, might end up in our net sometimes, and, you know, but that's Raymond." But he goes, he does 19 or 20 things every game that help us win a lot more games than we lose. And if I get focused in on the 2 or 3 and start trying to eliminate those, I also run the risk of eliminating the 19 or 20. He goes, it's not a value trade-off. And I think it's the same thing with Evan Bouchard. Evan Bouchard, nobody has to tell Evan Bouchard that he made mistakes. Nobody has to tell Evan Bouchard that he turned the puck over. But Evan Bouchard's body of work, now let's just look at his body of work for the last 5 years. We're going to get focused in on one game, or we're going to start crucifying him? Not me. Not me. You live with it. You go with how many great things Evan Bouchard does in a game, how many things he does to help a team win. And I'm not focusing in. Yeah, he could be better. Yeah, he makes mistakes. Great players make mistakes. I'm not worried about Evan Bouchard one bit.
The Oilers are 2-1-1. It's not a terrible start by any stretch of the imagination. They've won games. Stuart Skinner stole them a game against the Rangers. Their defense against the Canucks was unreal. They didn't give up one high danger chance the entire game, which doesn't happen very often. Last night I thought was a little bit of death by 1,000 cuts on themselves more than anything else. But the one consistent thing through 4 games, Craig, their 5-on-5 scoring is not remotely where it needs to be. And it's really infected a lot, especially their top 2 lines. Right now, Nugent Hopkins did score yesterday, so that was nice on kind of a broken play, and then Emerson finds him, and really great shot by Nugent Hopkins, and kind of same as Andrew Mangiapane, on a little bit of a broken play, comes in, high skill play. But the Oilers, their top 6 guys, like, you got to get more production from your best players. Like, I get it's only 4 games, but when they were the ones talking about we need a good start, you kind of got to back it up with some production, do you not?
Yeah, I think it's a catch-22 right now, and integrating some newer players, trying to do some different things with your line combinations, number one. Number two, and Mike Sullivan talked about this with his New York Rangers team. They played a really good game against the Edmonton Oilers when they lost. They played a really good game against the Washington Capitals, and they lost when they couldn't score. And this is what Mike said. Mike said, like, there's no way this is sustainable if we keep doing these positive things. Connor McDavid, in terms of high danger chances, is more than per game is more than double the next player in the league. I'm not worried about Connor McDavid. I'm not worried about Leon Draisaitl. I think there's enough there in terms of process where they're going to get productive. 4 games in, I'd be really concerned if they were cutting corners and cheating it and not getting. Now, the Ranger game was a different animal. They just didn't generate a lot in that game. But in the other games, I think they've been very good and very, very strong in terms of what they're trying to do. And again, to my first comment, you're trying to integrate players, Connor, Leon, RNH, they're trying to get comfortable with new players. New players are trying to get comfortable. Chris Knobloch's trying to figure out what he has. I think it's just part and parcel. But I don't see from a process point of view a team that is going to struggle to score because they have talent.
Oh, yeah, no, eventually they'll score. I have no doubt about it. They're going to get some guys back here soon, supposedly. Obviously, they still got some time until the big decision when Zach Hyman comes because they're going to have to send more guys down. What have you made of Howard's play thus far? Do you think it's inevitable, Craig? Not that he's played poorly, but just it comes down to like a minutes game. And then how many minutes do we have for guys? And, are we going to expose guys to waivers or not? What do you think? Is Ike Howard destined to get some time in the American League?
Okay, so here's how I rewind it this way, okay, Jason? So what do you want Ike Howard to do? You want Ike Howard to be a top 6 scoring winger. And I think there's no question he's shown that he can do that based on his productivity previously. He has the potential to do that, and I have no doubt he's going to be able to do that. Now, do you want him playing 4th line, or do you want him to go down to the minors and really get those touches and really get those opportunities? First power play, all the offensive chances, build his confidence. So to me, Isaac Howard's going down to Bakersfield. That's where he's going. I'm going to be a little bit more patient with Matty Savoy because he did so well last year, and give him a little bit more time, see how he fits in when Hyman comes back. But I don't want if you want Isaac Howard to be a 4th line winger, play him as a 4th line winger. I don't think they want him to. Wait a sec. Let me go back. They don't want Ike Howard to be a 4th line winger.
No. They shouldn't anyway. I think we would all agree.
Hey, listen, I don't know if I told you this. I mean, and it's an easy one. I know you and me have talked about it, but like the Ottawa Senators failed Curtis Lazar. Curtis Lazar was an elite scoring guy all the way up. He was an elite scoring guy with the Edmonton Oil Kings. He was an elite scoring guy when the Ottawa Senators drafted him in the first round. And then the Ottawa Senators said, no, we'll have you be a 3rd, 4th line guy. In his 3rd year, they sent him to the minors to go find his offensive game. Yeah. They failed Curtis Lazar. If that's what you want to do with Isaac Howard, keep playing him on the 4th line. get him down to Bakersfield. And you know what I would do? I'd get him down sooner, not later.
100%.
I wouldn't wait for Hyman to come back.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Craig, I thought one of the easiest predictions, and predictions are what they are. They're a prediction. But I honestly thought the one easy prediction this year would be that the Calgary Flames were going to struggle to score goals. And they didn't make any, literally no changes in the offseason. Now, Huberdeau, who actually played pretty well, he's never going to live up to his contract per se, but actually effort I had no problem with how he played last year. He's out. They can't score, Craig. They didn't hardly generate any chances against the San Jose Sharks, for goodness sakes. This might be a year where the Calgary Flames are a legit contender for the draft lottery.
Here's what I would say, and I'm very clear on this. They struggled to score last year. They ended up getting on the right side. They were competitive. Dustin Wolf was fantastic in the net. Now, here's the problem. They got a young kid, Zane Parekh, who's not ready for full-time duty in the NHL, and they're going to have to live with that because that's the decision they've decided. Rasmus Anderson's going to be traded, okay? Because that's a big chip. So that leaves you with Weegar and Ball, and then you don't have any other defensemen. Good luck. Now you have Huberdeau hurt, who, forget about the contract. He'll perform at the level we've seen the last couple of years, and that's acceptable, possible. So no, they don't have enough offense. We know that. They've got a lot of young players. They're not focused in. They shouldn't be focused in on 25, 26, or for that matter, 26, 27. The whole thing is when the new building is ready to go into, your team is competitive and you're ready to take steps forward. They're 1-4. Mike Babcock did it with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had a team that was competitive. I think that Ryan Husker can keep his team competitive. Do I think with the lack of scoring, the poor blue line, that they can win games? No. This is the year to just continue on where they're at and give themselves the best chance to get Gavin McKenna. It's exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah. What about the Kings, Craig? I went a little bit off of the NHL trend that, there's multiple 100-point teams who missed the playoffs the following year. And so I was like, I got to look at something. And I look, well, to me, it's the Kings. And I thought they got slower. Their back end, they don't have a lot of great puck movers on the back end at all. And, Darcy Kemper was unreal last year. Kevin Woodley told us about his numbers were great, not so because the defense in front of him, because he played great. And I'm like, well, that's hard to do year after year. And so I looked at the Kings. I felt, that's my team that I think is going to take a step back. It's ultra early, but what do you make of the start for LA, and how concerned should Kings fans be?
Well, Jason, just so you know, I'm of the same mind as you when it comes to the LA Kings. I think they're a weaker team on the blue line. I think they're a little bit slower. They still have speed in their lineup and whatnot, but they had 105 points last year, and let's celebrate what they did. It was a really good job by Jim Hiller, and they had. But now you miss the playoffs. All that means is 5 less wins. It's like we take 105 points and go, oh my God, how can a 100-point team miss the playoffs? 5 less wins.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's 5 less wins is not hard to come short of. So I'm of the same mindset as you with the LA Kings. And let me just say this, okay? Brian Dumoulin and Cody Ceci have been a disaster on the blue line. And those are the two guys that we're going to kind of, as a unit, as a pair, we're going to kind of mitigate against the loss of Gavrikov. Gavrikov is such a good player. And to me, the Rangers have played pretty good defense, and they have to get that in order. Gavrikov's help there. But I'm with you on the LA Kings, and now Darcy Kemper's hurt.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help. I do want to stick with the Kings for a second, Craig. Being a former GM, so you look at the tea leaves, and lots of superstars and top-end guys stay with their teams. Not all, but lots have. But now you're Adrian Kempe. You know that your running mate, Mr. Kopitar, is retiring at the end of the season. Drew Doughty is older. He's got 1 year left on his deal. And there's tons of money in the free agent market. If you're Adrian Kempe, Craig, now, I get that there's comfort. So maybe the Kings might have, hey, Kyle Connor got $12 million. Those guys got basically the exact same amount of goals the last 3 years. So I look and say, hey, you got $12 million. It's probably got to start with the 12. Maybe I would think in LA if he wants to stay there. But if you don't have if you're Ken Holland, you don't have a contract with Kempe nearing the trade deadline, you probably have to trade him. Like Toronto had a good enough team around where you could say, okay, you know what? We've got Matthews, we got Nylander, we got these other guys. Whatever, we'll roll the dice. It didn't go the way we wanted, even though some thought that was and they had no movement clause, so it didn't really matter. But in the case of Adrian Kempe, if you don't have a contract, Craig, do you have to trade him at the deadline if you're Ken Holland?
I would say absolutely yes. And I feel the same way about the New York Rangers with Artemi Panarin. And I'm not even so sure that with the New York Rangers, who I don't see as a Stanley Cup contender, like even if they're in the mix in the playoffs at that time, I'm not so sure you don't trade them. And I think that you got to look at each situation and, you know, where the money is going to become available in the marketplace with the caps going up, revenues have been so strong. You know, when Jarmo Kekalainen was in Columbus and he had Bobrovsky and Panarin, they were paying free agents. He couldn't trade those guys because the Columbus Blue Jackets were trying to do something different. They were trying to establish themselves as a team that, you know, could make the playoffs. They were trying to generate some real good interest in the marketplace. So they couldn't trade those guys. They ended up losing them for nothing, but that was a very different scenario. I think for the LA Kings with the LA Kings with Kempe and the New York Rangers with Panarin, yeah, I think you have to, because there's going to be a marketplace that's going to pay for those guys because teams are trying to get themselves over the hump. And I'll go one place. I'll go one other place too. And I think it's different for this team. If I'm Alex Tuck, I'm not signing in Buffalo.
No,
because I am saying I'm having my agent. I'm just saying we're not signing here. We'll talk to you like the teams. We'll be willing to sign some. But if I'm Alex Tuck, I ain't signing in Buffalo. That's for sure.
No. What do you think about Kekalainen as a GM in Buffalo?
Yeah, I think that it's in place for him to become the GM, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Jarmo will be really good. I think them bringing in Jarmo in his current role is something that they've been lacking in Buffalo. You know, Kevin Adams came in there with no experience, and then he let go a couple dozen people with experience. That was a huge mistake by Kevin. And now he's got somebody that can guide him, that's been through it, that can understand what he's going through. I think it's too late. And I think the mistakes that the Buffalo Sabres have made, I think Kevin's a good person. And I think Jarmo, though, when they hired him, they put I guess what I would say, they have their guy in place. And I think he will be the next GM of the Buffalo Sabres. It'll be a matter of when. But I think that Jarmo did good work in Columbus. And Jarmo's sharp and he's good. And I think that, having a chance to be around the team and to see where the team is functioning and to see different players at the minor league level and the prospect system before he takes over will be really, really good for him. It'll be really good for the Buffalo Sabres. And on the second go-around, I don't have any question Jarmo will be really good.
Craig, have you caught, are you a baseball guy? Are you into the Jays?
Yeah, I'm into the Jays. I'm an Expos fan. I'm still bitter about 95 and the strike. So,
fair.
But I think it's cool what the Jays have done. I think the Jays have a fun team to watch.
They do.
They have a team that plays and plays hard. They never give up. I mean, what happened yesterday with Max Scherzer? How awesome was that? 41 years old, and he's got a fire burning hot in his belly. Him and Schneider, the push and pull on each other. I got this. You better have it. Oh, don't worry, I do. Get out of here. Okay, you better take care of this. And he does. I mean, that to me is just that's the essence of sport. When you're dialed in to win and you're going to do everything you can to win, that's what allows teams to win. And I think the Blue Jays have that. And now, hey, listen, now it's a fun time. It's a fun time for the Blue Jays, for baseball fans in Canada. Might end up being just like it was with the Raptors.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Craig, great stuff, buddy. Hey, where are you at tonight? What game are you watching?
I'm not watching anything tonight. You know, I'm taking it easy. I'm going to go to actually, I am. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to start doing at 5:00. I'm tuning into the Boston University Michigan State game. Should be a big time heavyweight college game. So I'm dialing into that game, and I want to see like all those guys play, kind of get a little glimpse of what's happening with the players who could be on the World Junior team. Tomorrow, full day of NHL hockey. Sunday, I'll see the Hitmen play, and next week, I'm in Edmonton. Thursday night, I'm in Edmonton for the Montreal game. Looking forward to that.
Oh, perfect. And buy me a birthday beer. I love it. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Is that your birthday?
It is.
I have your birthday on my calendar, so you didn't have to. It would come up anyway, but I'll be happy to do that because, you're good people.
All right. Well, you're in town for the Habs, so love it. All right, Craig. Well, we'll see you then, buddy.
Okay. You have a great weekend. Take care.
You go. That's Craig Button from TSN. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions and more. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
You've probably heard the term supply and demand. Something is needed and someone supplies it. We're GS Construction, and we're in the supply and demand business with you. Edmonton and the surrounding area continue to grow. Infrastructure has to be continually replaced and upgraded to keep up with demand. You see it with new buildings and new roads, but what about below ground, where all sorts of pipes bring you water and take wastewater away? That's where we come in. For more on what we do, go to gsconstruction.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Looking at the Alberta weather forecast, wild, unpredictable, brutally tough.
When the weather turns tough, Titan Supply doesn't back down. Titan Supply has been protecting workers from conditions like this for 50 years. We stand tall with you against the elements with the industry's best rigging, hauling, and lifting products to get you home safe. Tire chains, wire rope, round slings, chain slings, and a whole lot more. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary. Online at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men in Alberta, and this November we're fighting back. Every dollar raised fuels early detection and life-saving support. Donate today for the men in our province. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your fundraiser or donate today.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Could it happen 3 days in a row as Connor Falepa opens up the third inning? Jays are down a run. Stop me if you've heard this story before, Jays fans. They're trailing in the third inning. They started out Their number 8 hitter gets on base, and then Jimenez comes to the plate. Dun, dun, dun. Could you imagine if he hit another? Like, that'd be unbelievable. Even if he just gets an RBI here, it's still magical if he's the guy who drives in their first run of the game for the third day in a row and gets the offense going. It would be quite the story, man. Quite the story. So we'll update you on that as it goes. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Hey, Madness savings continue on right now at The Brick. Hey, it's that time of year. You're watching baseball together. You got hockey coming back on. Maybe you got the NFL. You got watch parties all the time. Well, hey, you know what? You need a big screen TV. You can save up to $800 right now on a big screen TV and get free delivery for any TV 50 inches or more. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Question number 1 for you guys today. If you had to rank the Jays postseason MVPs, how does it look 3 through 1?
3 through 1?
3, 2, 1, you know?
I'd say Vladdy Jr. is the MVP. And after that, it kind of trails off for me. Maybe Jimenez with this back-to-back jacks. Who knows?
Well, if I'm going number 3 for the Jay, we're talking the whole playoffs, Connor?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go. I feel bad that I leave out a pitcher. But if we're talking the whole playoffs, like if I had to pick a pitcher, I might pick Varland. So I'll take Varland 3rd. Then I'm going to take Ernie Clement. And then I'll take Vladdy. But man, like they're like Jimenez the last 2 games has been unreal. He's been really good, but I'll still go with Ernie Clement.
Question number 2 for you guys. In your expert opinion, who's the more polarizing figure amongst Oilers fans, Evan Bouchard or Stuart Skinner?
Oh, my God. Jeez, that's a really good question.
It's a tough one, Connor.
Who's more polarized? We'd have to ask the fans. Text in. Who's more polarizing to you? But you only get to pick one. Bouchard or Skinner? I'd still probably say Skinner. Because Bouchard's had some unreal playoff success. Even though Skinner's had some good games, but he's had a few times. So I guess I'll probably say Skinner.
There's a third guy I think that deserves to be in the conversation. That's Darnell Nurse in terms of divisiveness among the fans. It's crazy to me that we have back-to-back cup appearances, and yet there's 3 players that are that much of lightning rods for criticism. I think it has to be Skinner.
Question number 3. Elks Lions tonight, 8:30 kickoff. What's going to happen?
Well, last week I said 30-20 win over Winnipeg, and everyone laughed at me. And then I laughed at them because they pulled it off. So I'll say that they're going to beat the Lions tonight 30-20 and keep the wagon rolling.
Well, I think if they're going to win, they're going to have to score more points because the Lions offense is pretty good. So the dream, you know what? Hey, why I don't want to root for to pick them to lose. At this stage of the season, I know that their odds of making the playoffs are slim, but I will say they have a miracle win 33-31.
You know what I found on YouTube, Connor, is that the CFL is now putting out like day after games that are 12 minutes long.
Oh yeah, they're unreal.
They're unreal. If
Yes.
you haven't watched an Elks game or you haven't been to one in a while, go to YouTube, just watch last week's highlights of the Elks game and tell me that wasn't a very entertaining hockey game.
Well, I would tell you that because it was an entertaining football game.
I was watching a baseball game. You know what I mean? It was a very entertaining.
You were
football
so good. It was
I had
unreal.
3 sports going
Yeah.
simultaneously in my brain. It's too much.
Yeah.
Question number 4. Earlier this week, the Utah Mammoth introduced their mascot, Tusky. So let me ask you, who are your top 3 NHL mascots?
See, when it comes to mascots, right? So my son, he's like, Dad, did you see Tusky? Unreal. He loved him. So he was all over Tusky. So his kids, like, because to me, I'm sorry, I'm not an adult. I'm not going to a mascot. So to me, I look at what the kids like. You got Gritty in Philadelphia. No question, he's there. Tusky's coming right up there. And the Seattle guy, because he looks like I don't know if he's like a mixture of a troll doll to something else, but those would probably be my top 3. But I'm telling you, like the boys, they were loving Tusky. 11-year-old boys thought Tusky was unreal because he's a huge mascot.
I didn't necessarily like Hunter the first time I saw him. Then I saw him with my nephew, who was 4 at the time, and he thought Hunter was amazing.
Yeah.
When I showed Wanye Jr., who's now 5, he thinks Hunter's the greatest thing ever. We go to the games, where's Hunter, wants to see Hunter.
Yeah.
When I showed him Gritty, he literally fell to the ground laughing at Gritty's eyes.
Oh yeah,
That's brilliant marketing.
yes. Oh no,
And you're right. It's not for us. It's not for adults.
people
it's
have
for
to
kids.
forget. Like when I hear adults, oh yeah, I'm like, dude, like you're a grown adult. Why would the mascot be for you? What are we doing? Of course, it's for the kids.
I also like Whoopi, or what was this guy's name? The Expos guy?
Youppi.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was all right.
but he was great. What about you know what? Hey, the Mariner Moose, legendary. Remember when he broke his ankle when he rode into the wall?
The
Like,
rollerblades?
but dude, like a mascot is a no joke job.
No joke.
Right? Like there's the guy in the NBA. I think he makes like $350K or something. Like it's like those guys, there's some really athletic mascots. Like they're doing triple flip. Well, maybe not a triple flip. Well, some of them off those trampolines, slam dunking. Like it's pretty sick. But the Mariner Moose, I still remember him crashing into the walk-ons. Knows exactly which one I'm talking about, right? And that was,
he had the rollerblades
Yes.
on. He was getting pulled by something.
yeah.
I remember one time Nanook doing a bit at an Elks game, and he jumped off a little diving board into a swimming pool, and they started struggling all around, and no one in the crowd really understood. They popped his helmet off. All this water poured out. Poured out. It was drowning on his feet.
Well, I remember the Safeway Seal. That's the mascot. I thought the Safeway Seal guy was unbelievable on the sidelines of the Elks. And I remember when he used to bring that like stuffed horse, and he would just like elbow drop it, or the gopher for Saskatchewan. Like the Seal was unreal. He was like, as a kid, I thought the Seal was pretty darn good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Final question for you guys today. Mike Judge, creator of King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead, celebrates his 63rd birthday. People know I'm a big King of the Hill fan, but I don't like Beavis and Butthead. So let me ask you guys, who are your top 3 most disliked cartoon characters? I think I know Gregor's number 1.
Yeah, 100%. Like this isn't even a question, but go ahead.
Who's your number 1?
Okay,
all right. Well, I don't really like King of the Hill, and I don't really like Beavis and Butthead. I like Simpsons, and I like Family Guy, and I like South Park, but that's about it. But I don't really have any beef with anybody per se. Like I don't have disliked cartoon. Not really, no. Who's your axe to grind?
I don't even know if I can mention his name on the show because it's like God, well, I'm pretty sure your son never wrote his book, or not wrote it, of course, but read his book. But I'm gonna go if I have to go with if I have to find 3. It's hard for me to find 3, but actually I do have 3. Coming in 3rd place, Caillou, terrible. Coming in 2nd place, Caillou, even worse. Coming in 1st place, Caillou. And I would give a 4th place to his whiny sister, too. I don't even know her name, but God, that show, like I watched one episode and I was like to my wife, we're never watching that show. It is awful. It was just whining, like nasally whining all the time. Caillou, without question, the worst of the worst.
That's a heck of a rant. You really don't like Caillou.
No, dude, you've never seen it. I guarantee if you watch it once, you'd be like, how is this ever on the air? It was awful. It's awful. No. Like it just like kids, I want them where it's upbeat and fun. And speaking of it, they had on SNL, there was a skit they had on SNL and they're playing the guitars like, oh, I wish it was Christmas. And they had Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear, and Kermit's going absolute, but just his dancing. And I was watching today, and I was dying. And I'm like, see, Kermit, legendary guy. Now I know he's not animated; he's a Muppet, but still, I have a Caillou, no chance. And there's lots of I love the animated guys. Like Zootopia's coming out. But my son, because when I went to watch Zootopia with my son, I was like, God, I really like the show. And Zootopia 2 is coming out. My son saw the preview. He's like, Dad, guess what's coming out? I had no idea. I was like, wow, I don't know. He's like, Zootopia. I was like, what? Can't wait. So
are you pro or anti-Minion?
I love the Minions.
Love the Minions.
The Minions are unbelievable.
Yes.
The Minions are great. And Gru's so classic. He's like a villain, but not really a villain. It's hilarious. Oh, yeah. No, the Minions and their voice, like, how can you not like how can you be anti-Minion? Like they never really do anything negative. They're just funny.
I've seen some people that think that they're stupid, but that's a
well, they do
test.
some stuff for sure, but that makes it funny.
See it through the eyes of a kid again, right? Wanye Jr. cracks up at Minions like you wouldn't believe it.
Dude, through an eye of an adult, I think the Minions are awesome. So now they're like Caillou is the one guy, like it just trust me. I dare you to watch an episode. That'll be before next Friday. You have to watch an episode of Caillou, a full episode. That's your homework for the week. You're watching not without Wanye Jr. You're going to watch it yourself, and you're going to see why.
What if I watch it with Wanye Jr. He gets hooked on it. Now I got to watch Caillou.
watch it with them.
You want me to watch it on my own?
Yeah, you're going to watch it on your own to realize why you should never show it to your child.
All right.
It should come with a parental warning. So parents can be like, yeah, this is terrible.
I don't know if you would have done well in the Coco Melon era of parenting.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, it's a kid show, but it's pretty high pitched and kind of whiny too.
Yeah. Hey, Gregor, Rosie's the sister of Caillou. Thank you, NBA fan 26. Rosie. Hey, guys, Hab fans act like Caillou. You know what? That's actually a really good burn. I think I might have to start using that now. Oh, that is a great burn, Oddball. I love it. Absolutely awful.
If you want to know what to
You know
do,
what's
Gregor,
funny? We got a lot of texts coming in. Coco Melon was brutal from Andrew, Sarah, Mark, and Pete.
The tough one.
I'm just reading that now. So there you go. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Spec will join us as we get to Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Dinner solved in minutes. Loca gourmet meals are made fresh, never born in, always chef inspired. 2 locations, Edmonton and Sherwood Park, or see what they have to offer at loca.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Week 20 in the CFL has the Elks out in Vancouver, set to take on the BC Lions. That one gets going at 8:30. Earlier on, you'll have the Bombers and Rough Riders kick off 6 o'clock. Major League Baseball playoffs rolling on. Third inning. Jays right now trail the Mariners 1-0. 2 outs. Later on tonight, you got the Dodgers with a chance to wrap up their series against the Brewers. That one gets going at 6:38 Mountain Time. And in the NHL, Red Wings taking on the Lightning. Caps host the Wild, Canucks in Chicago, and the Mammoth taking on the Sharks. The Oil Kings on the road tonight in PA, taking on the Raiders. That'll get going at 7 o'clock. In the BCHL at 8, Sherwood Park in Coquitlam. And then in the AJ, 4 games tonight, including Camrose taking on Canmore, Devon in Bonnyville, and Fort Mac hosting Grand Prairie. University of Alberta Golden Bears hockey taking on UBC tonight down at the Drake. Puck drop at 7. Football tomorrow against the Regina Rams. Footfield 2 o'clock. You also have Panda Soccer at Clark at taking on McEwen at noon. And sad news today, longtime Edmonton journalist and sportscaster John Sexsmith has passed away following an extensive battle with cancer. John began his career in Edmonton in 1990, winning a National Journalist Award in 2014. He was actively involved in the community as a hockey coach and with organizations like Sports Central and the Alberta Cancer Foundation. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll discuss John's legacy with Kevin Carius. We'll hear from Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and be joined by the host of the Lowdown with Lowtide, Alan Mitchell. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire.
What?
We're on this road together, Canada.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI. Custom Floors, Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact
Welcome
Custom
back.
Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
Fall in the savings at Wolf GMC Buick. For a very limited time, get 0% on every 2025 Buick and GMC, including the all-new Buick Envista, the Encore, Envision, and Enclave. For the GMCs, 0% on 2025s like the Sierra Half-Ton, Sierra HD, even the Yukons. Get 0% on all 2025s. Plus, get up to 84 months on the GMC Sierra Half-Ton Crew Cab. But like the Leaves, these deals won't last long. Get into Wolf GMC Buick now.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why.
We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on Made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
From the first face-off to the final whistle, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
Horses of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome Friday. We roll through. Hope you're having a lovely day. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game any day. Anytime you want to make a $50 donation, use the promo code Gregor50, and guess what? They'll match it. So you deposit $50, use the promo code Gregor50, you'll get another 50. 2 for 1, baby. Or just play 2 games this weekend. Maybe you want to go 50 on each. Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. Time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists who are hiring. If you want to work for a fantastic company who loves to promote from within and start not just a job, but a career, go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers. As Mark Spector joins us on the road, the Oilers losing last night in Long Island, Spec, and I don't want to start with Captain Obvious because we've talked about it a lot, but at what point does the 5-on-5 scoring become an issue to you?
Yeah, it's probably starting soon here. You know, Connor McDavid has said he wanted to shoot more and score more, and he's not shooting more and he ain't scoring at all. He's still got that. I always, Jay, I always pause when I find myself trying to instruct Connor McDavid how to play hockey. Like, who the hell am I to say that? But he did say, I'd like to shoot more and score more goals this year, and we've not seen evidence of that. And I think it kind of starts with him. So Bouch is another guy. Bouchard is a guy that, I always say, if I had that shot, man, I'd have 6 shots a game. But he kind of meets it out like it's a precious metal. So they got to fire more pucks to start with. I think they're trying to make the perfect play. Is that how it looks on TV? That's how it looks in the rink.
Yeah, I think at times, I just look at the the play when it's 3-2 late in the third period, and you're in the slot, and I know the puck was rolling on edge, but I don't care. You just got to shoot it. You got to shoot it there. Then try. Like, no offense, it's Troy freaking Stetcher. I don't know how many career goals he has, Spec, but it ain't many. And like you're Connor McDavid. That's where you should be like, I'm shooting the puck. Troy Stetcher's probably like, what the hell are you passing to me for?
Not expecting the pass. I mean, I recall a particular game in Boston where Connor McDavid got the puck in overtime and shot it in the Four Nations face-off, and it was a pretty good shot. So yes, Connor, you know what? Like again, his goals are going to come, his game's going to come. But I think this is a team that's starting to go to that. We talked about going to the net yesterday. We'd like to see more of that, and I think I'd like to see. I don't love the term volume shooting, but I sure would love to see them give a goalie a chance to give up a bad rebound once in a while, because they wait for the perfect play, and when the perfect play doesn't come, there's no shot at all. So that's probably something Chris Knobloch's talking about too, I would say. Yeah.
The Evan Bouchard, obviously you can't talk about the game without Evan Bouchard's game. And obviously it's one like, hey, mistakes are going to happen in the course of a game. I understand it. But when you make one, you can't just you got to stop at one. That to me was the issue last night. Okay. You know what? I made one big error. Okay. Whatever. That's going to happen at some point in the season, but it just kept compounding. That was a concern for me.
Well, it's the kind of mistake. And that's what Knobloch said after the game. And if people out there should go back through their memory and find when they try to remember a time when Chris Knobloch basically called out a player and criticized him. As a guy that's in every one of those scrums, it never happened.
No.
Okay.
No.
Chris Knobloch, he is not, John Tortorella or John Brophy or Glenn Sather or someone who tell you how bad a player was tonight. But he did last night with Bouchard. It's the type of mistake, Jay. Bouchard's got the puck all the time. He plays 25 minutes a night. You're not going to be perfect. Chris Pronger made mistakes, but standing at center ice, getting stripped by Barzell, that's not a mistake that's acceptable. Standing there with a complete lack of awareness while Horvat gets behind you for the PK breakaway, that's so easily fixed, and it's a rookie play. Like, I don't see Makar making those plays. He plays more than Bouchard. I don't see Quinn Hughes making those plays. I didn't see Schaefer making those plays last night, and he's a rookie. Like, he's not making pressure mistakes. He's making lack of awareness, lack of focus, lack of concentration mistakes. You can fix those. And I would say in Evan Bouchard's career, it's time to fix those. It's time to get past this. There's times in a game. How old's Bouchard now? 26?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
He's 26. He still looks like he's 19 sometimes, and it's time. Make a mistake, man. You play all the time. You got the puck all the time. I've got a huge window for Evan Bouchard to make mistakes, but not the kind he made last night. It's time to grow up, right? Is that fair? Is it time to grow up for Evan Bouchard? I would say it is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like you have to reduce them. So it's not multiples in one game like that. Like if you're going to make one big error, okay, it's going to happen at some point in an 82-game season for someone who holds on to the puck that often. I can live with, and probably going to happen a few times. But to me, it just last night it just kept getting like there was no reprieve, right? There was no reprieve, and so
it kept coming. It kept coming. I mean, there was two that cost you goals. There was two more that should have cost you goals. I mean, you're right. Well, last night was a train wreck, and you know what? I'm going to tell you, like any chance that anyone thought of him trying to make an Olympic team, like forget it, right? That player, it doesn't matter if he gets 100 points this year. He's not making the Olympic team as long as he keeps having games like that. They won't put him on the ice in an Olympic game. They won't put him in an Olympic uniform. I'm sorry to tell you. And that's just a fact.
Yeah. Although he's got a pretty good track record of big games, not really doing that. So I don't know if that will make up for it. But
that's true too. Yeah. That's true too.
But the truth is about the human brain for all of us, recency bias and what you see recently will impact your decision more than what you see. Even though you can go back and show all the tapes of the playoffs. Like, somebody who is a Bouchard booster could show them all the playoff games, say, here's this guy. Look what he did in the playoffs. You don't have guys who've done this in the playoffs where it matters most with all the pressures there. And he does it he's done it 3 years in a row. So it's not like it's a fluke, right? Like he knows how to play at the key times, but the truth of the matter is they're going to be looking and saying, well, in November, December, January, we're still seeing that. So guess what? They'll go the safe route. And I think that'll work against them for sure.
Oh, whose job is he going to take? Which guy that's on the team now makes those mistakes?
It's true, but which one of them, when they're at their best, is better, right? Like, is Drew Doughty still there? Like, I'm not sold. Like, Spec,
I'm not sold on that.
Yeah,
I'm not sold on that.
Right? Like, I think there's going to be, if I look at that roster, I won't be stunned if there's like 70, there's 25% new faces on the Olympic team compared to the Four Nations team.
Yeah, that's fair. There's always going to be injuries, so you're going to lose a couple guys there, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, I don't, Drew Doughty has to earn his spot on that team. But I'm just, you can call a recency bias, you can call whatever you want. We all know that players get ice time in hockey when the coach trusts them.
Yeah.
And the coach has to trust the player, whether it's, a regular season game or Team Canada and Milan. And Evan Bouchard is not fostering a trust from a coaching staff for Team Canada right now. And if they don't trust him, they don't want him.
No, that's it's totally valid. The Jays had bases loaded, none outs in the fourth. Varsho struck out, and then Clement hit literally a ball, the foul that hit an inch. The catcher touched home plate, threw an out. They got no runs in. Unreal. Brutal. But they've left a lot of guys on base here so far. They just can't cash them in. So that's it's not a great start, but the Jays are still in it. We'll see what happens. What about goaltending, Spec? Who do you think's going tomorrow in New Jersey and in Detroit? Any idea?
I don't have an idea because they did not skate today, so there's been no clues. I haven't been around Knobloch. He didn't say so after the game last night. He wasn't tipping his hand. So I would be lying if I said I knew. I'm going to tell you one of them starting one's starting the other. I don't know which one it will be, my friend. I want to say I really thought Skinner's had a good start to his season. I thought Skinner's was very good last night, made a ton of good saves. When it was 3-2 with 5 minutes to play, I looked down and I thought, man, this game should be about 5 or 6-2 here. So,
yeah. No, I agree with you.
I'm very happy with Skinner's game so far this season. Yeah, he made a bad play against Calgary, big deal. He's been excellent. And Pickard has one game, and I believe did he have a shutout in that? No, he let in one goal.
But
that's not bad either.
It wasn't bad. He didn't face any high danger chances. That was their defensive juggernaut game against Vancouver. But hey, it's not the goalie's fault. You got to make the save. Got to stop the ones that you see. Quickly, the Jays. What'd you make of that game last night, my man? What about old Mad Max?
I don't love that. I was thinking of you today. So I don't love that. I didn't love the fact that he basically kind of embarrassed his manager out there. I thought John Schneider handled it really well. He deferred. He was the bigger man. He didn't come out and, he didn't have a look in his face like he was upset. But I would ask you this question, Jason. If your son, and I know you coach your son in hockey, let's say you're coaching him in baseball, and let's say your son's a pitcher and he's 14 years old, and let's say the manager comes out and wants to take him out and he gives him that much attitude, how would that car ride home be? Would you be proud of your son?
Well, first,
or would you think it's not something you love?
Well, I never compare minor to pro sports. Number one. Number two, I don't think it was disrespectful because John Schneider has even said when I jog to the mound, I'm just there to talk. I'm not taking guys out. Right? That's what Buck Martinez was explaining. When he walks, not jogs, and he jogged once he crossed the line. So that it was like he was out there just to check on him. And that's what Schneider said. I don't think he was taking him out. I think he was just saying, hey, where are you at here? We can come out. And I didn't mind because Schneider even said, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. And I think Schneider's a pretty intense guy. So I didn't have much of a, and I don't know if you saw his post-game presser. I loved it. Schneider's just like, man, I've been waiting for that moment. I've heard about it. To be in that moment, to see a guy who so badly wants to win, that's what you want, I think, as a manager in pro sports. I don't think it was disrespectful at all because, you don't take it personal there. When Scherzer's pitching, he flips the switch. That's just who he is. And anybody to think, well, he shouldn't be that's who he is. He's honest. He's been that way his entire career. And I don't think he showed him up at all. I had no problem with it. I thought it was good.
I didn't love it, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, if that's his thing, I guess my parting words would be, you better deliver.
Yeah, and he did.
If you're going to be that guy, you better deliver. Last night he delivered. He hadn't been delivering for about 2 months here. So good for him. The Jays might have a guy back here in their rotation that they haven't had for the last while. If I'm not mistaken, was he even in the lineup in the first series? I'm not sure he was.
No, he wasn't. That's what it's his first. Yeah. It's his first. He hasn't pitched in 22 days, and he pitched that well. That was pretty impressive in a game
great.
they needed.
Good for the Jays, and let's hope that this guy continues to pitch that way. You know what? I think this falls under the category of you better walk the walk, buddy, if you're going to be that guy. And he walked the walk yesterday. Yeah. No one can say he didn't.
No, very true. Spec, enjoy the trip. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We got Low Tide coming up next. Man, it has been a game so far of just close, but no cigar. The Jays have left, I think, 6 runners on base already.
I thought you made an interesting point with Spec. Would you trust Evan Bouchard in an Olympic game, knowing how deep he's gone in the playoffs?
I wouldn't have much of an issue with it.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I don't think the Olympics are bigger than the Stanley Cup final. I don't think they're going to be in that moment. I don't think it's going to be any different.
And playoff Bouchard's earned your trust?
Oh, it's because it's 3 years in a row. And last year, there was no Ekholm. Because if you want to feel like, hey, Ekholm's a security blanket, I could have seen that argument in 2024. Say, well, yeah, he's playing with Ekholm. Okay, great. Well, Ekholm wasn't there last year. And then what happened? He was still great. So, no, I wouldn't have an issue. But I also understand why now it's different because the guys that you're choosing with him are also very good. It's not like Thomas Harley's a dud or Colton Parayko's a dud. Like, Colton Parayko's a pretty good player too. So that's where I think I can see why. Now in Edmonton, like, it's not like you have a bunch of other guys you're pushing to give Evan Bouchard ice time, right? Like, you got your top 4 guys. Okay. And Bouchard plays the most, but your third pair in Edmonton is not like a third pair in the Olympics. It's just different. So, it's a competitive thing, but I also would say one game, like if Evan Bouchard for the rest of now until the Olympics plays very well, and I'm not expecting to play like the playoffs because nobody plays like they do in the playoffs year round. But if he has limited errors and is moving the puck like he normally does, and because his defensive game up until last night was pretty good. So for the majority of the time, it's good. I'm not going to say like, yeah, but on October 16th, that game in New York, I can't pick him because of that game. Well, then that's terrible analysis. That's what I would say. Let's get to LT next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wins and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
It's back. The world's best curlers are returning to this queue for the Grand Slam of Curling Go-Up Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Co-op Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on Made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal? Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular priced order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:28, we return. Positive Friday. Sports fans, what a great weekend. Like, kids sports are going on all the time right now. It's awesome. You got NFL, you got CFL, you got NHL, you got MLB playoffs. NBA's starting up right around the corner. God, there's lots going on. F1 fans, it's back on the track. So, it's fired up. I love it. Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by Go Auto. And hey, you know what? We were just talking about all the choices you have in sports. Well, you have all the choice you need at Go Auto, as they have over 15,000 vehicles, 28 new vehicle brands, and 69 locations to choose from. Find your ride at goauto.ca. Is the host of The Lowdown, joins us every Friday, Alan Mitchell. Al, you watch a lot of baseball. Have you seen a hit that Ernie Clement just had? Like, he could have swung at that ball 100 other times. I don't think he'd ever hit it straight down like he did there. It's got to be one of the most unlucky plays I can see with the bases loaded.
Well, I was so mad. I mean, you're looking, all you want to do is get a ball you can drive. And I mean, he probably felt he could, but that's such an unsatisfactory outcome for like that. I said when Varsho was up, I said, this is the ball game. And then he goes out, and then a piddly, stupid, right out in front of the plate. Perfect play for Raleigh. I mean, the easiest double play in the history of the world. Highly frustrating. But the Jays are getting on base every inning here, and they get the leadoff guy a lot. So there's still hope.
Yeah, well, hey, the Jays, you know what? Hey, they got the starting pitcher out of the game again, and they've been able to get to the bullpen here the last few times. So we'll see if they can do it again. It's been entertaining. Now, I can say the Jays game was much more entertaining than the Oilers game was last night.
Oh God, they just every once in a while they do this thing, and I'm sure it's like anybody else. You go to work, and not every day is a great one. But I knew early when they were doing the ridiculous back passing, and nobody could, everybody was taking dangerous chances, and you're like, boys, you're have you looked at your shot suppression stats, and you're doing so well here. This isn't how to continue it, but. I mean, I think that it's a kind of a reminder, and they're well coached. They're highly talented team. I know everybody on planet Earth who's an Oilers fan is mad at Evan Bouchard, but I mean, I stand by the guy. He is a great player, and he had a terrible game, but he wasn't the only one. And they'll come back, and I suspect they'll play really well on the weekend here.
LT, would you trust Evan Bouchard on the Olympic team?
I would, but I think that when we understand that Canada's construction of Olympic teams has one of those puck movers, and it's Cale Makar, then it won't be Bouchard. But I think that when you're looking at winning against another nation, it's okay to have two puck movers. It just is, right? But the way the Team Canada is built, it doesn't allow for that, so it won't happen. But I'd put Bouchard on the team.
Yeah, he'll be in tough, no question. Like, there's lots of options, man. Like I know the kid's young, but the way Matthew Schaefer's playing now, Drew Doughty made the Olympic team in 2010. He was only 20 years of age. Like, it's not crazy to think that there might be a chance here for Schaefer the way he started his end. Like, if he keeps playing like this for another 50, 60 games, he might push his way onto that roster. No, I'm not saying he'll play, but he might be like the 7th or 8th guy.
Well, and also that's an investment in the future. I mean, if you've got at that age, if he can even, like, as you say, if he can even hang with the team, what a great experience for him, right? And then, 4 years from now, then he's more mature. He's got that experience and he's that much farther ahead. I think that'd be a wise investment if he play. Like, his minutes are crazy right now.
Yeah, no. What do you make of the 5-on-5 woes scoring that is of the Oilers?
Well, I heard you talking about it. I was driving around today aimlessly, and I heard you talking about it. And I thought, like I said just before you said, I said, well, give it time. But then you said, well, you say give it time, but you're 4 games in. And the expectation is that this is a much better team at 5-on-5 than they've shown scoring wise. And you're right. McDavid needs to be, putting up points 5-on-5, and empty net goals and power play goals aren't good enough. They talk about getting off to a fast start. I'm exactly doing what you said 2 hours ago, but it's all true, and I understand not getting all head up when you're, just this many games in, and let's face it, they're 2-1-1, and that's fine. But again, the example you gave, which was shut the puck and don't pass it to Stetcher. Well, that's just good business because Stetcher wasn't prepared for it, and he's not as good a goal scorer. So, you put yourself in this grand position, and you're the captain. You got to put the puck on the net, and I feel terrible being that critical of McDavid, but it is true.
Yeah, like, I'm not even sure Stetcher was prepared at that point. Right? If you watch that replay, he was not in a position to receive a pass to score. And I think we all know, is McDavid going to score more? Of course he is. It's just. I don't think it's a fair analysis to just say, well, it's going to come with McDavid and Draisaitl, and you never say it about anybody else. Like, at some point, like, they got to get producing. That's all.
Yeah, and it's like, I know it's early in the year, and like, it would be easy for me to say, like, I like Tomasic, but he's got 11 high danger chances, including power play and even strength, that he doesn't have any goals. So everybody's snake bit, but there's a chance they're going to finish in second place, 2 points behind Vegas. Well, they took 2 points off their own, record last night by playing really loose, and they didn't need to. I think that they had that game well in hand. They were playing terribly, but they were covering off enough to be able to make it happen, and then it just went in the dumper. But the Oilers lost 4-2, including an empty net goal. I think 3 goals should be the expectation, and a couple at 5-on-5, and they are not scoring 5-on-5 goals right now. And it's only 4 games, but it is 4 games, and most games have like 45 to 50 minutes of 5-on-5, so that is as many as 200 5-on-5 minutes. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I was looking online, the top 6 ice time guys in 5-on-5 for the Oilers, which is McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, and Kulak, have combined for 1 assist in the first 4 games 5-on-5. And then the next 6 guys all have at least 1 point and 2 points for Kapanen and Nugent Hopkins. So technically 7-12, they're doing all right. But your top 6 guys, and I know Nurse and Kulak aren't top 6 guys offensively, but they're on the ice a lot. So at some point, you got to get some production from there. I'm sure it's going to come eventually from Draisaitl and McDavid, but probably sooner than later would be nice.
Yeah, and they did start the season with the 2 big guns together, and that makes them easier to defend, and they split them up when JT Miller's line was doing great work, and maybe that's part of it too. But I think they're fortunate to be 2-1-1. but it would have been nice to win that game last night and go 3-0-1 into this weekend.
Yeah, well, especially you're 0-2 against the teams that are 0-7 against everybody else. It's early, but that's not a great number by any stretch of the imagination. Al, there's, of course, Toronto just tied it up, boys and girls.
There you go.
Springer doubled to score Barger from second base, and it's tied. But the Elks coming up tonight, 8:30, must-win game for them. They're taking on the BC Lions, whose offense is very, very good. What chances do you give the Elks tonight?
Well, I think because I've been kind of pushing this idea that they'll get into the final week with a chance, and I just think that this is a game where you've worked so hard all year. I know some of these guys were looking at professional extinction early in the year when they were not doing well. So this is a night to push by, and I do know that BC's they can light it up, but it's late game obviously, and I think that this is a game Elks have to have, and I do think they'll leak it out. I think it'll be high scoring, like 33-31, but I think the Elks win it.
Ooh. All right. What about the Jays, Al? They're going to win this. Are they going to win 4 straight?
Well, I think it might go to 7, but I picked the Mariners to win and then to win the World Series. But I have a feeling about this Jays team. The bats are alive, and Jimenez is hammering the damn ball. When you get 7, 8, and 9 production like you're getting from these guys for the Jays, and Mariners aren't getting anything. I think that could be the difference. I think the Jays could win this thing, but tonight's a huge game. Huge game.
Yeah, it is massive. Awesome, LT. Have yourself a great day, buddy. Have a good weekend.
All right, boys. Be good.
There you go. That is Al Minchile, Kalo Todd. When we return, we're going to pay homage to a guy who did a ton for the sporting community, John Sexsmith. We'll talk to a guy who knew him very well next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm Gene Principe for Legacy Heating and Cooling. If you need a furnace this Halloween, it'd be a grave mistake not to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Need repair? Revampire your furnace. Just
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy has a skeleton of furnaces in stock.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no prints of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Al, you want
just right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on Made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
When you get into a new Tacoma, you might suddenly find yourself expertly tackling bumps and boulders on backwood trails with a confidence you just didn't have during pothole season. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $117 weekly for 64 months at 6.79% with $7,699 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union members. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through a busy, positive Friday. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game all the time at PlayAlberta.ca. $20 million up for grabs in Lotto Max. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. And earlier today, some sad news in the sporting community is John Sexsmith, after a courageous battle for over 13 years with cancer, passed away at the age of 63. Our deepest condolences to his wife, Joanne, and son, Joel, who is going to play tonight in honor of his father as a member of the University Golden Bears. And co-worker of John's for many, many years, really good friend of his, of course, our morning show host, Kevin Karras, joins us now. And Kev, obviously, you know what, I know I exchanged text messages, but I know you and Johnny were really tight for a long, long time. And this is definitely a tough day. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Griggs. What a day where it's so sad, but all the great memories just been flooding in, and all the guys that have been texting and calls, and really remarkable. And that just shows you just how much that John meant to our city. And I mean that in a real sincere way, because and even at the last 20 minutes of our show this morning, Dave Jameson came on, and Dave hired Johnny. He was the first guy that Johnny was hired by David Ched. And Dave said, Johnny almost had like 3 or 4 lives because he was so into so many things, even to the very end. But even if you go back, the last time that we saw him, I think it was the same. It was at the Cates Memorial, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, we'll sit around and have a little, discussion after dinner and, that round table and everything. He goes, well, no, I got to go to Calgary because I'm coaching the kids.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, Johnny. So he was so selfless, and he just loved hockey and sports and being a part of everything, in the sense that he gave so much of himself. He never cared one little iota about himself. And he showed that to Joel and obviously everyone else. And that's why I said to you, I got to get out of here by like 5 to 6 because I'm going to the game tonight. And, I can't wait to see that and be supportive of Joel playing tonight, as you said off the top.
And Johnny was a lot of things, but he was pretty funny, Kev. What is some of as a co-worker, what was one of your funny memories that stands out for Johnny?
Well, I told this story with Dave a couple of times now. So I got here in 1998, and John had been at ITV at the time for a few years. He was the third person I met when I came into the building. First guy was Mark Janvrem, who technically hired me. Tim Spellacy was sort of the second guy that hired me.
Yeah.
And Johnny was the third guy. And, actually we hit it off right away. But we had this thing called the Wick Cup back then.
Oh, yeah.
So what it was ITV, we had Red Deer TV, we had Ched, we had Calgary TV, and then the TV station out of Vancouver. Everyone would come together. We had 10 guys on our team at the time. And Johnny said, and Johnny was a really good hockey player.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Johnny went to Notre Dame. He was a hell of a hockey player.
Yeah.
And he goes, listen, and this is Johnny's coach coming out. He said, this is how it's going to work. We got 10 guys. You're going to be on the ice at all times, or I'm going to be on the ice at all times. 5 and 5. You're going to be on. I'm going to be on. I said, perfect. Sounds good to me, Johnny. I mean, I'm 2-3 months in here. And then he goes, and I didn't really know about his intensity of coaching in hockey. And about 2 games into this tournament, about 4 guys say to me, you got to talk to Johnny. You got to talk to him. I go, what do you mean? Well, he's flipping out on us. He's going bananas. But I was on the ice. And Johnny's on the bench, giving it to all the guys that he was on the ice with. And then we came into the room, and he goes, "You got any stick wax, like tape, wax for this stick?" I go, "Yeah." And I thought, I don't know. He closes the door, he slams the door, and he makes a rink on the back of the old rinks back. No, we're talking 25, 27 years ago. And he draws a rink, and he starts chirping at all these guys, going, "You got to do this, you got to do that." And we got 3 or 4 editors that can barely skate, and they're looking at me and going, "What are we doing here?" And Johnny just he wanted to just he loved talking hockey and expressing everything else that he knew about. And just, I mean, it was unreal. Those are memories. And that's 26, 27 years ago.
Yeah, no, he was always intense. No question. He always had a good line. He loved his puns. He was like the pun guy before Gene came, and those two would get together, and it was like, oh my God. Yeah, Huey and Dewey on the puns with those two.
He was the best writer in sports that I've ever seen or read or whatever else you want to say it. He could write copy like no one else.
Yeah.
He used to give me crap and say, if you're doing the 6 o'clock copy, you got to change it for 11. A lot of people would always say, we'll just rerun it. And that's where TV is now. And I'll say one thing, and so many guys have reached out in the business, including Jay Durant. You remember Jay?
Oh yeah.
When I got here in '98, Jay was here and Johnny was here, and I'll go to the grave saying this. The 3 of us had a department that rivaled, because Sportsnet at the time was just getting going.
Yeah.
But our half-hour show at night, because of Jay and Johnny and Johnny's stories, the way he told stories, no one has told stories like that in broadcasting for video. They might tell it, and we've had, you talk about Ruben, you talk about all these guys, but when you got to put the pictures to it, Johnny put pictures to words together that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've seen since, because it doesn't work like that anymore.
No. And he would do it, Kev, not just for the pros. He would do it at the, for high school football and for U of A and Nate. And he could any story, he treated didn't matter if it was, amateur sports or pro sports. How he did his stories, I felt, was always at the exact same level.
He loved those stories more because, as you know, those stories are better because people are willing to open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
The pro guys are like, they're a little closed off. When you get those other stories, and John, I could go through 100 stories that he did. And the one thing I want to mention, and this is before I even got here, he did a thing with Louis DeBrusque. And this would have been, I'm thinking 95-ish, 96, and it was around Halloween, and Louis came on, and they did all the spookiest, scariest Halloween movies and things like that. And I'm going to talk to Louis about it here in the next few days. But this is a must-see video, and I don't know if Global would release it or whatever, but Louis was on there. John had everything to do with that. It was unreal.
Really? Well, hopefully they do. I'll have to talk to them. They should bring it out if it's that good. I'd love to see it. So I know you got to get going, Kev. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing some thoughts about John. And it'll be an emotional night for Joel, his wife Joanne tonight. At the game, his first game without his dad there. He'll be there in spirit. His dad loved hockey, and I love the fact that Joel is playing, because knowing Johnny, he'd have been like, "What do you mean you're not playing? You're playing." So he'll be in there tonight, and he'll be very proud of his son.
it's funny how you say that. Like, I had hockey today at noon, and I was thinking, well, should I go? And I said Johnny would have kicked my ass if I wouldn't have went.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what he would like, 100%. Thanks, Dick. Have a good one, my man.
Thanks, sir, for having me on, Griggs.
You betcha. That's Kevin Karras, of course, host of the Kevin Karras Show here on the mornings from 7 till 11. And people going to the game tonight. It'll be a little bit more emotional for sure, as Joel and his teammates are going to play in honor of John Sexsmith, who did, wrote and broadcast so many stories of local sports and professional sports for, over 30 years in Edmonton. It was amazing.
The fitting tribute to his dad to be able to play tonight too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, well, it's, it's, and for those, he's not even thinking about his dad that often during the game, maybe intermission and stuff, but when the game's on, like, he'll probably be thinking of all the, the experiences and conversations he's had with dad, and he'll be like, okay, tonight, like, man, I'm guessing he is going to be flying in that game tonight. Like, just because, you got so much emotion to want to make your father proud. He's going to be proud regardless, but you just feel like, man, I got a little extra to give tonight. And I'm sure that will be the Drake will be rocking. So you might want to check it out if you're looking for some hockey to watch tonight. Quick update, Jays and the Mariners, as we kind of thought, lower scoring game tonight. It's 1-1 heading to the top of the sixth. Gosman is still in the game. The Mariners have gone to their bullpen, and we'll see that's part of it for sure. And Gosman's pitching very well. I think he's got like 76, 72. So he's got some time here the way he's going. I think, hey, the deeper you go, there's no reason to pull him out unless he starts to suddenly get in trouble. But he's shown no signs of faltering thus far. So it's a good start for him. And, the Jays, hey, that base is loaded, no outs one. Maybe it comes back. We'll see. But now the game's 1-1. They got to move forward. Elks coming up tonight. Can watch it on TSN. 8:30 is when they start. Big game. Looking forward to that, to watch it. Oilers, tomorrow we got the pregame show here on Sports 1440 noon. Then we got the pregame show again and postgame show Saturday, pregame show on Sunday. Then we'll have the Jays Game 6 Sunday. Listen to it live on Sports 1440. On behalf of Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, as well as Declan Kruger, thanks everybody for the week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube, Facebook, and X, and listening at Sports 1440. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Enjoy all the sports. Have loads of fun. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. In the month of October, they continue to help feed families. For every truck sold, they will feed a family of 4. So check it out, northgategm.com, or stop in person and go for a test drive. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Week 20 the CFL gets going tonight. Elks out in BC taking on the Lions. That'll start at 8:30. Coming up in about 10 minutes time, you got Bombers and Sask from Winnipeg in the majors right now. Top of the sixth, tied at 1 apiece. Alejandro Kirk leading off the inning with a stand-up double. Later on tonight, you got Brewers and Dodgers from Los Angeles. The Dodgers can wrap it up with a win in the NHL after 20 minutes. Red Wings lead the Lightning 1-0, and the Caps up on the Wild 1-0 as well. Later on, Blackhawks host the Canucks and the Sharks in Utah. The Oil Kings on the road in PA taking on the Raiders. That gets going at 7. BCHL, you got Sherwood Park and Coquitlam taking on the Express just after 8. And in the AJ4 games tonight, including Camrose taking on Canmore, Devon and Bonneville, and Fort Mac hosting GP. Golden Bears hockey this evening. They'll take on UBC down at the Drake tomorrow as well. Both games at 7 o'clock. As far as football goes, the Regina Rams in town tomorrow, 2 o'clock at Foot Field. Also, Panda Soccer taking on McEwen down at Clark Stadium tomorrow at noon. And sad news to pass along. Longtime Edmonton journalist and sportcaster John Smithers has passed away after an extensive battle with cancer. John began his career in Edmonton in 1990, winning a National Journalist Award in 2014. He was actively involved in the community as a hockey coach with organizations like Sports Central and the Alberta Cancer Foundation. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next at Fox Sports Radio, all night long, live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you